Do. 10 o'clock, Saturday morning, just where we want to be. We've got a bowl of cereal in hand. Everyone, cereal prepared?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Guillaume, your mid-afternoon cereal is more of a sweet treat, a tea time delight than a morning, but alas, we'll have to make it work. Hello everyone, and welcome to Saturday Morning Monster of the Week. I'm here with a couple of friends from around the world. I'm going to let them introduce themselves in just a second, but I just want to get started by telling you a little bit about what's going on here. This is a live stream small town mystery set in the town of Havens Mill, where the coffee's always fresh at Maggie's Diner, the lighthouse keeps watch over our harbor, and something supernatural is always lurking just beneath the surface. This is Monster of the Week, so we're going to be rolling 2d6s. My players are all familiar with the system, but just in case you aren't, this is a Powered by the Apocalypse game. We're going to be rolling 2d6s, adding one of 5 stats to the result, and a 6 below is a failure, 7 to 9 is a mixed success, and a 10 plus is a full and complete success. The players will describe their action. You're gonna kind of mix the frame up a little bit though. Think Scooby-Doo meets Gravity Falls meets Supernatural. So the stakes are real, but the hope pretty much always wins in the end. Now, our heroes here at the table, say hi, wonderful
Hello.
heroes.
Hello.
We're looking good. Our heroes are everyday people who've discovered that this town needs protectors, but these are just people from around the world, so I want to give you a chance to introduce yourselves. It looks like the order we've got on screen here today starts with Maggie. Glory, can you please introduce yourself, where you're from, and a fun fact you don't mind sharing about you?
Yes. Hi, I'm Glory. I'm located in New Hampshire in the US right now. Fun fact about me, I'm originally from Puerto Rico.
Wonderful. We'll pass the baton off to Jules' player. Guillaume, give yourself a quick introduction.
Hello, I'm Guillaume from Paris, France. I don't know any fun fact. I've been playing a lot do you know the game Just Dance, and I've been third French player for like a month in 10 years ago.
Just Dance champion amongst us. Careful, guys. He'll beat us in a dance-off. Last one here, Dale, the host's player. Chris, can you give us a quick introduction?
Yeah, I'm Chris. I'm also living in New Hampshire. And fun fact, I have a 5-month-old puppy.
Oh, well, you got to tell us the breed, Chris. I may know,
It's
but the players are, or the viewers are certain to want.
it's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel named Bruno.
Oh, cute.
Bruno is a good dog name.
Oh yeah.
Well, wonderful. We're going to go back around the same order in reverse, and we're going to introduce our hunters, the characters that we'll play during today's adventure. We have a brand new playbook to start off. Chris, can you introduce us to Dale?
Yes. Dale is an odd playbook. So Dale is, normal teen, a little awkward, a little lanky and clumsy, works at the local grocery store, but is constantly on the verge of being fired. And that's when he gets, let's say, ratatouille'd. A gopher starts living in his curly hair and is able to control his actions. And it ends up being a big success. The gopher is able to control him and make him a prodigy at working at the grocery store. Suddenly his life turns around for the better, and so he doesn't mind if the gopher sometimes uses his body for his own ends in mysterious schemes.
Boy. And I believe the gopher has a name. Did you say it here?
Chip.
I thought so. We won't say it in reverse unless we can help it.
It's Dale and Chip.
And
The
Chip.
classic pair.
A name everyone knows. Perfect. Let's pass it back to Guillaume. Guillaume, we have a mundane amongst us. Tell us about Jules.
Jules is a French tourist that's been in Heaven's Mill for a few days. It has already have been some mystery there, and discovered he was he mostly failed trials to be chosen. He's oblivious to a lot of things, and he still thinks the only flirt he got here was not a robot, but it was. And he's friendly and forthcoming.
He certainly is a brilliant addition to the town and staying longer than he expected to stay. Perfect. We'll go to another local. Glory, what do we need to know about our expert Maggie?
Oh, absolutely. So Maggie has been a librarian at Havens Mill Library for well, more years than she can count. I mean, she's been in Havens Mill for over 40 years at this point. And as Maggie will always say, she may be old, but she can tussle. She's got fight in her still. Um, yeah, her back is not as good as it used to be, and she did manage to get shorter as she's gotten older. That might be the back thing, but do not underestimate Maggie. She'll get in there and she'll fight when she needs to. And yes, Maggie used to be in a coven, but they've been on the outs for a couple years now. But regardless, they put some spells over her library, so it's nice and protected. So Maggie loves spending time at the library.
Wonderful. Now, one of the first things you do at a Monster of the Week table is establish some histories. A great way to help us just get right into the role play. Our characters don't know each other yet, so we're going to flip our pages over to the backside and look at the histories section. There, we're going to see a couple of prompts that should help us connect our hunters together and make roleplay easy. Let's kind of go back through the same draft order here. Glory, is there an easy, clear prompt to connect Maggie to one of the other hunters?
Absolutely. Let's see. So maybe I know both of the characters are more on the mundane side, except for the gopher, who seems to be a little bit evil.
He's pretty exceptional.
Very true. That's very
Let's
true.
see. Maybe one of them is a distant relation, like a grandnephew or something like that.
Jules or Dale, who might be related to our Havens Mill librarian?
I mean, since I live here, I guess it could make more sense. Unless Jules is a long lost distant family, that could also be fun too. But it could make sense for Dale.
What do you think, Jewel? Are
No,
you a distant relative come back to
I
visit?
think Dale is mostly the obvious choice here.
Sounds
Dale,
good. Yeah.
you're a nephew or a second nephew or a great nephew. What relation are you to Maggie?
I am a second great grand nephew, twice removed.
Really closely related. Are you there for Thanksgiving every year or not? Is the real question, I think.
Yes, but mostly because Maggie throws the best Thanksgiving dinner that I would love an excuse to tag along.
Maggie, I'll ask you the last and most important question. What's the signature dish at Maggie's Thanksgiving?
Oh, it's my marshmallow sweet potatoes, of course. I do sweet potatoes with some uh creme brulee style marshmallows on top. I get the blowtorch and they're nice and crispy.
You know, that made me hungry for dinner food at 10 in the morning just now. It was dangerous. Dangerously good. All right, let's move to Jules. Who can our mundane connect to?
I thought maybe since I already told you I'm very oblivious to things. Maybe Maggie was the one who needs to told me there was monster, they're real, and she introduced me to the reality of monsters. It seems the existence of monsters, and I need to tell them how you feel about that. I was a bit crushed that my flirt was a robot. Indeed.
Yeah, that works for me. Maybe I patted him on the back and said, "I feel like you should know monsters are very real."
You're the one who told him
And
Santa wasn't real here, but in the
yes,
opposite way. Oh gosh.
No,
exactly.
don't tattoo.
Oh no.
um, we assume that the library has a couple of books that other places might not have. So, Jules, you've figured out that Maggie's actually probably a good source of information around town. And you know the person who tells you the tooth fairy isn't real still gives you $1 when you put your tooth under the pillow. So it's nice to keep with the hand that feeds. Um, Dale must be connected to another hunter. Is there any way that you have met or come into contact with Jewel over his short time in town?
Yeah, let's say just by some chance of circumstance, because I think Dale hasn't had the gopher in his hair for very long. By some wild coincidence, Jules was instrumental in him encountering his gopher. How? I'm not
Ooh.
totally sure yet. Do you have any ideas, Jules?
Through
Since
Gopher.
I tend to fumble into things, I might have seen the gopher from the back of you and make it hit him something with something by hazard by chance. So it had to talk and reveal itself,
Yeah,
like falling something on him, maybe a box or a card box.
yeah, I love that. And then he retreated into the safety of my hair, and we've been bonded ever since.
Yeah. Uh,
Wow.
is the gopher obvious, or is it hiding in your hair?
Hiding in my hair. It'll be obvious if you spend too much time with me, but I think most members of the grocery are just like, why does that guy's hair sometimes move?
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that the truth? You've got one of those like deli caps on the top of your head too.
Yeah,
Classic
exactly.
Ratatouille hide. Nice. Wonderful. We're all connected together, so we know that despite our mundane being in town for such a short time, he has made a few friends. And so our adventure begins. Now, this is a one-act adventure. We're going to try to complete our mystery in the time given to us, but we will be aiming for a break around an hour 45 in. That break will give us a 10 to 15 minutes to top off our coffee, pour a fresh bowl of cereal, or use the head if we need to. We'll get that break in around then as best we can. For now, we have a situation on our hands, and it starts with a cold open. You can't know this town without knowing its landmarks. We have a little crusty barnacle on the side of a main coastline, a main street that is lined with businesses that are frequented and populated by the peoples of the surrounding civilization. It sprawls through coniferous trees, evergreen needles breaking and crashing down into a brown carpet that coats all things through most of the year. We can see next to the coastline is a lighthouse with a long red stripe down one side. Its gleaming bulb off at the moment, but the light of the sun still catches all of the handful of fisher boats that are out in the harbor, putting in their nets and letting out their lines. Off the road from the lighthouse and the docks, you can see as a winding boulevard passes by the odd house and compound or settlement, and then into the town of Havens Mill, where a little gazebo sits in a park just across from the main stretch. Havens Mill Hardware, the cafe, a little brewery with a dog for its sign hanging in wood. from a wooden jut out onto the sidewalk. Up on the hill, we can see a dome gleaming and iridescent. The only really modern building in Havens Mill, an observatory, lens closed at the moment as the sun gleams off of its round surface. And then just down the way from that, in a much older capacity, is the old historic mill, a brick building that sits in just off of the river. It's wheel still. The places all around it now more dedicated to the historical society that takes up its first floor. The rest of the building is still in renovation, so there's scaffolding around one corner, but for now, a couple of people mill about buying postcards, stickers, and other tchotchkes that say Havens Mill from the first floor of this historic old building. Our adventure begins with a news broadcast. We can see a man, a stern, gray-haired, salted hair, clean-shaven, glasses on, and seated below a low podium. It currently hides the wheelchair that anyone who lives in town knows he sits in. The microphone is where he needs to speak, and we can see as Superintendent Keller takes the mic. This is on TVs in the cafe and all over town, and we can see as Superintendent Keller, tears in his eyes, speaks. Timothy is a good boy. He hasn't left a small impact on our community. We're doing everything we can to find him. For now, the search effort has been expanded. We've seen to trying to make sure that all of the local authorities are involved, the rangers, the sheriff's department, and volunteers from all tracks of life. He holds up a brief. He looks down, another sort of wipe the tissue. He says, "He will be found." We can see his mother in the background, kind of like holding. Oh, some man just like looks like at the camera. It's, "Hey, Mom!" He waves, and we can see flowers all around her as if she's grieving. Superintendent Keller looks at the camera one more time, and he says, "Whatever person, beast, or other took Timothy, bring him back as soon as you can, please. Our community needs him." And the brief cuts to a news desk. The TV in Maggie's diner gets muted or turned down again, and we pan back out to a diner filled with people seated. One of our hunters is there this day, who is sitting at the diner having a cup of joe.
I love having a typical American breakfast in the diner, so I'm surely here. It's typical
Jewel
of the postcards that my tourist imagine.
We can see Jewel sort of drinking away at a coffee. You've got the perfect American breakfast: the eggs, the toast, the hash browns, and the waitress has put down a big old bottle of ketchup next to it that she just sort of like looks at you expectantly until you squirt. And we see Jewel enjoying a breakfast, but you can see this on the TV, and while it was on, they had turned up the sound. Jewel, as you take in this situation that's been unfolding the last, day or so, what do you want to do here?
I begin by taking Instagram photos of the breakfast. And when I realize everyone is watching the TV and the broadcast, I get back to it and look about this Timothy on my phone.
Definitely. You document your breakfast. A couple of quick likes, of course. Looks good to your friends and family back home. But your attentions drift, and you start to look through your phone to see if you might be able to find more information about what's going on here. Go ahead and roll to investigate a mystery for me. For our first roll of the game, he's going to roll 2d6 plus his sharp skill. Guillaume, what's Jules' sharp?
It's +1.
+1. All right, let's see what the dice say.
It will be a 7.
7 is a mixed success on an investigate a mystery. You get 1 question. For our first time of the day, let's give him a quick read. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do, or what can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? Or what is being concealed here?
There's been some place where the questions are marked.
The questions are in the reference sheets we sent through, but they're also... we don't have a reference channel up right now.
I get on the old one, maybe.
Yeah, I can. I'll throw them into the chat. We've got investigate a mystery here.
What happened? What happened here? Just to have more information, maybe.
Give it a classic. Give it a classic. What happened? I love that. We can see as you sort of take a look at your phone and can see that the signs and photographs that the police have taken that are posted up on this blog about strange things that happen in Havensmill show a tuft of fur and an enormous footprint. You get the sense that the broadcast with Superintendent Keller doesn't seem to be saying the whole truth. This amateur sleuth has discovered that Timothy wasn't taken by a man. Superintendent Keller meant it when he said whatever thing took him on camera.
The old librarian opened my eyes about supernatural things, so I think maybe now I see things like that everywhere. It must be a werewolf or something. I get to her to show the pictures.
We're headed to the library, it sounds like. Is that right, Guillaume?
That's right.
Perfect. I see that we pan out of the diner as the door opens, and Guillaume and Jules steps out into the fresh air of the Havensmill morning. We can see as off the coastline a salt spray washes over on a breeze that we can sort of see like a wafting pie's fragrance. And we see our Frenchman, our tourist, step out into the boulevard and get a good smell of the Atlantic. We pan across town towards the library. Maggie, what are you doing on a nice day like today?
Maggie's enjoying some of the calm that's going on nice days like this. Everyone's out and about, which means she gets some time in the library to tidy things up, make sure all the shelves are stocked well. So she's just going through and enjoying the slower pace.
A librarian's day is seldom hurried, and yours today need not be. We see as our expert sort of leisurely pushes the cart along, kind of, just checking out the books, looking at the things that people have checked out, kind of gauging the patterns. And we can see as Maggie gets a ping as somebody walks into the library. The little bell pings behind the desk, and we see her turn and see Jules walking in. The book in your hand currently goes up onto the shelf, a biography section, and you don't think he's coming straight for you until he's already at your shoulder. Hey, a spook! He catches you, but Jules is there. Oh, Maggie, what do you say to greet him?
Oh, snuck up on me there. Jules, how are you? What are you doing in here in this dusty old library? I've heard it's a nice day out. You should be out there enjoying the sights and the sounds of Havensmill.
You see that I'm excited, and I already have my phone in hand. Look at it. You said there's supernatural things everywhere. I'm sure it is one. And I show you the footprints on the screen.
Oh, Maggie's kind of assuming that Jules is seeing things where there's normal things because he's new to the whole monster thing. So he's been coming in regularly with photos of things that he thinks are odd, and
I'm sure I do.
And they have been completely normal. So Maggie's like, okay, now, okay. She's adjusting her glasses and is like, let's take a look at this thing. But as she's looking, she's like, wait a second. Jules might be onto something this time. So
A
maybe
boy
there's
who
something
cried
about
wolf.
this. Yeah,
Nice.
maybe there's something about this that's sort of telling Maggie, wait, that there might be something to look into here.
For Maggie, you have a haven that is part of your library. Can you tell us which part of it you could possibly use here?
Yes, let me think. I think Maggie would use the maybe the mystical library. So the library has some occult tomes and grimoires. So I think Maggie's gonna usher him over to the occult section of the library. Of course, every library must have a fully stocked occult section.
Every small town library has to have one. I think it's just like it's required for that.
Mm-hmm.
We see the two of you head over there. Now, when you use mystical library, you can take +1 forward to use magic. I think that's a great role here. What do you want to try to do with your magic to learn more about what's happening?
Ooh, using magic.
You can do all sorts of fun things with that, including, observe another time or place, do something that's beyond human limitations. It definitely has a couple of good options for figuring out more.
I think Maggie's gonna try to observe another time or place. So maybe try and observe the moment that the child was nabbed.
We see as you push Jewel into the section to try to start doing his own research. We see as Maggie kind of gets just a little bit of a feeling, just the tickling of some ideas beginning to form. Go ahead and roll plus weird.
Do I have to roll two?
Not yet, Jewel. I think your investigation here is just beginning, but Maggie might be able to get us some help to dig into which books.
Okay.
Rolled a 7.
The 7 means that your magic has a glitch. There's 5 glitches on here. Feel free to play with them, but the effect is weakened, of short duration. You take 1 harm. It draws immediate unwelcome attention, or it has a problematic side effect. Which would you like?
Let's say it has a problematic side effect.
Maggie, as you go to pull a book off of the shelf, we see as you almost like stumble. The book tumbles from your hand. Your hand comes up, and for just a second we see you shake. Oh, and then as if you're having some sort of vision, you see a set of stone walls. You see a little lantern casting a light across rough-hewn and salt-weathered stone caverns, and there's just the put together of maybe a wooden crate and another slightly taller crate, and on it you can see what looks like math homework. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but you do get this feeling that you're seeing where Timothy is right now. As you go to kind of like shake yourself free of this, you pick up the book, you look at it. It is a book about psychics and far seeing. You're not sure what's happened here, but as you look down at it, you think the book might be involved.
Oh, Maggie's gonna try and shake that off. That was a little more intense than she was expecting, maybe. But she feels like she has a good lead now, so she's gonna grab this book and throw it into her bag and make sure she keeps it on her.
We see Maggie check out her own library book. Jewel, you get another chance at this if you want to try to roll to investigate a mystery here using the library. Maggie, if you'd like, he can use your lore library to take a plus forward here.
Yep, Maggie's absolutely gonna let him check the shelves and help use the resources that we have here.
I'm just gonna use my oops if move to stumble across something important. I think it's
You
a total
know,
win here.
this is the perfect spot for that. Guillaume, can you please read the move for us?
Yes. Oops. If you want to stumble across something important, tell the keeper. You will find something important and useful, although not necessarily related to your immediate problems.
As you pull as you go to pull one of the books off of the shelf, we actually see as Jules like already a couple of books down. One of them's open. We can see just like cryptids or legends from the area, and the pages flip, and we can see as Jules kind of like goes, and then his phone buzzes, and when he looks down, it's one of his friends from home, talking about the story and the town he's in. Your friend sort of or it seems worried about you, like, Jewel, are you okay? You see the message come through, dot dot dot, it pops up again. I heard what happened. Did you see this? And they send you a link to a news report. As Jewel opens it, you can see they've got new pictures in there, and one of the pictures is of a set of seeming bike tires headed up to the space where the footprint was seen. He seems worried about you, Jewel.
Um, I'll send him a message that I'm okay. I didn't know he would watch news about my about Heaven's Mill, and I thank him and look at the pictures.
The pictures show what looks to be a pair of bikes heading up the trail towards the encounter. It could either be one bike headed up and one bike headed back. The pictures are a little unclear,
Could
but
I use some geographic app to pinpoint where the tire where the picture had been taken?
absolutely. I think that is an act under pressure roll for me, just to see if we can put those things together. Now, act under pressure is going to be plus cool.
So it's a +0, and it's a 6.
A 6 is our first failure. Let's introduce the idea of luck here and give you a choice to make. You can use 1 luck point per one shot. This luck point allows you to turn a roll to a 12 or to take no damage from an attack. Right now, there's no damage incoming, so you could use luck to turn your 6 to a 12. Otherwise, you're going to mark experience, and I'm going to take a hard move. Guillaume, would you like to use a luck here?
No, I'm gonna keep luck for something better suited to it. I'll just fail. And
In this
take
case, mark that experience. I believe that means that you level up. Is that right?
Yeah, it's my 5th experience.
5 experience points, 4 from last week's adventure, and this week's 1 makes a level up. You can go ahead and choose that move right away, but for now, I'm going to take a hard move. Jules looks at the map and sort of like does the Google map, sort of trying to kind of geocache where it is on the, pulling it open and kind of pinpointing different spots. You've got 2 or 3 that you feel pretty confident it could be. There's no publicly announced location of this, so you're doing your best. And when you look at Maggie, you can see that she's a little pale and discombobulated, and she kind of looks up at you as you kind of, I have a couple of key places. What do you say?
Since I see her chicken, I go grab. I stop in my joy and grab a chair to help her to sit down and see if she's okay.
Wonderful. Let's turn as you kind of go to help her. We'll turn for just a moment back to our last hunter. Somewhere else in the town of Haven's Mill, we see a gangly man, a cut of curly, little ringlet curls, and a hat of some sort, I have to assume. Chris, will you please describe your character and what you're doing?
Yes. So Dale, it's his day off from his job at the grocery store. He's still wearing his his grocery store apron though, just as a force of habit. He thinks it looks good on him. And he is in the woods, and he has a wheelbarrow full of various things: cement mixer, CRT TVs, a shovel, and he doesn't really know why he's bringing it to this random spot in the woods. But Chip is in control and is just it's a lovely day, so he doesn't mind taking a walk.
Wow. Sometimes you have to do chipmunk things even. You're in exchange for an increase in efficiency as a human, you also occasionally have to run errands for Chip. Is that right?
Exactly.
My goodness. You can actually see as you're finishing up, we see you sort of wipe a sweaty brow. We don't see what you're doing at first. We see you kind of like taking a rest and Chip pulling on a couple of hairs to try to get you moving again. And we just see like, exhausted, like just like soaked and like that classic like exasperated face. You've done Chip's work, but Chip looks like they're getting ready to pull you to a new direction already. What do you do?
I'm like, well, hold on. Can we rest for a moment? And then I think I just start like jerking towards it, like, a child contorting an action figure. Like I just find myself walking towards the direction I'm not facing, all the same, and I'm like, oh well.
In that case, we see as you are piloted through the woods into a small glade, and as you go, you realize somehow, maybe connected to Chip's, you could does he speak to you? I guess I should ask.
Yes, he does. He sometimes peeks out and he whispers in my ear.
We see him sort of peek down and say, I haven't seen another chipmunk, gopher, squirrel out here. Have you?
No, I haven't. Although I'm not very perceptive, I think they say. So I tend not to notice things like that anyway.
It's not usual. These trees are usually full of them. I like to gloat about my pet human, and I don't see anyone to gloat.
Oh yeah, that is a little odd. Can I read a bad situation? Just try and get a sense of what might be going on.
Yeah, that's certainly one of the options here. You're not in immediate danger, so there are a couple of questions on both lists that would be valuable. Do you want to start with a read a bad situation?
Sure. I specifically have a move, Whispered Advice, which comes from my symbiote, which I get a +1 to read a bad situation when he whispers in my ear.
He did indeed. In that case, let's roll plus sharp, and you get an additional +1. What's your modifier?
It's a +2, so it's a +3 total.
+3 total. Good luck.
And I got an 8 on the dice, so that is an 11.
11 is a complete success, and on a read a bad situation, you get to hold 3 questions. What's my best way in or out? Dangers we haven't noticed, biggest threat, most vulnerable to me, and the best way to protect the victims. We'll build on your first answer into the scene.
Yes, I'll say, are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Wonderful. First things first, you can feel that Chip is right. In addition to the other furry creatures around the area, there are no birds singing their songs in the trees. In fact, the crickets have gone silent, and you realize as you start to kind of tune in that this whole space is calm. And that's when you hear a branch break in the distance. You can see from where you are through a few shaded tree trunks and branches draped in the canopy's foliage, a shadow move.
Oh my. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to then ask, what's the biggest threat?
As you keep your eyes on this, Chip actually jerks you to your feet like in a cartoonish. You're sitting down and you're fully just like up on your feet a second later. And then we see you just like get yanked, like noises coming out of your head. Oh, ow, 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 as you're getting yanked on to get moving. And you can see he's trying to pull you away from that threat. That seems to be the biggest threat by far, and he doesn't seem to be aware of or worried about anything around you.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Yeah. Let's see. I guess what's my best way out then? Since I'm trying to escape anyway.
Not a bad bet. You, as a human, have different senses than Chip, and you can certainly take a different route that he might go. You see, as he's trying to lead you straight for a tree, right? His first instinct is to get off the ground. You're not a great climber, so you're headed out a different way. And as you look through, you can see there seems to be a kind of wooden path all the way down, or a dirt path, like a wooded path, all the way down to the docks, or you can go the long way back towards town. But whatever's in the woods is on that side of the woods. It's certainly a bigger danger, even though you're headed towards bigger safety. Which way would you like to go?
Let's head towards the docks.
We see as you sort of start to move quick, both of your bodies, the gopher pulling at your wires, and Chip sort of guides you, and you guide him all the way down. We see the docks. A sticker, our first of the day. Let's take a look at this, our very first sticker. So, one of our new mechanics for the game, and I'm so glad we get to introduce it now, is stickers. This is going to be another way that you can get experience. When one of your player characters goes to a new setting or location that is of the 4 stickers available for this setting, you can gather one of the collectible stickers. When you do, we'll see them both on the screen here and on the clue table. The clue table is where we will be keeping track of the different things, but there's also a couple of points of experience that can be found throughout the adventure. If you collect all 4 of the landmarks by going to those locations, you get a point of experience. And if you collect all of the collector cards for the characters that your players have met in person, you'll get another one. For now, this clue table has 1 sticker on it, the docks. And as we see Dale and Chip begin to head their way down there, we see something on the docks ahead. It looks like a discarded item, Dale. And as you head down and through, you see the parking lot and the pathway back up to town. You've made it out safe and clear as far as you can tell, but you can't help but think that if that was your lost glove or shoe, you'd hope someone would pick it up. What do you think?
Yeah, I would like to. I'd like to do so. I think It'll might take me a second because I'm still in panic mode for a bit, and then I'll maybe run past it and then circle back to it.
Chip does not care about this glove. So, as you are trying to turn around to go to it, a human instinct, your host tries to ignore it. I'm going to need you to roll to act under pressure.
Ooh, okay. Their first fight. Let's see. That is a 9 plus 1, 10.
Plus 1, cool. To bring it to a perfect success. On an act under pressure, when you succeed, you do exactly what you set out to do. How do you fight Chip's instincts, his commands on your body?
I think I swat at my own hair like there's a bug in it, like a fly got stuck in my hair. I'm swatting at it, and I knock Chip out of the control panel, so to speak, for a second. Grab the item, and then I think he gets a hold of me shortly after.
You see a boy's shoe. You can see maybe a size 6 in adolescence. It's untied. Looks like it's been sort of left behind unintentionally. It may be dropped or forgotten, but you pick it up and you hold it in your hand. What do you want to do with it?
Can I examine it see if I can find any more clues?
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll to investigate a mystery here.
Okay. That is. Oh my god, I'm rolling great today. That is a 13.
13. With a sharp of 2 and 11 on the dice, we see 2 questions on the Investigate a Mystery list. And since this is a one-shot, we'll also use the advanced form of this move. Since you got a 12 plus, you can ask any question for one of those 2 questions. What would you like to know?
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. So I can ask anything I want about this show, not just one of the ones on the list.
Indeed, indeed.
How did the shoe come to be in this spot?
Well spoken, Chris. We can see that not only was it left behind in the chaos of a child's passing, but it was left behind peacefully. You get the sense that this is not a shoe that fell off in a moment of chaos. This shoe was forgotten. It didn't get packed up with the rest of the things. And now that you're looking at it, you can see that there's a small square of dirt where a tent or some other form of shelter might have been erected, a tarp placed across the ground at least. This shoe was just not packed up with the other goods.
Okay, interesting. And do I get another question?
You get one more question and a shoe sticker on your sheet.
Oh my god, I'm racking up collectibles.
Your other question must come from the Investigate a Mystery list here.
Yes. Where did it go?
I would like to ask you a follow-up question here. Is it the boy and the tent, or is it the monster?
Well, I would like to find out the monster. I don't know if I'd be able to discern that, but I would like to. But I would settle for the boy, if that makes more sense.
No way. Either one is good. Which would Dale like to know?
Where did whatever took the boy go?
You can see around this space, as you sort of start to circle outwards, Chip, indignant, jumps back up on the shoulder and says, "If you're gonna take so long about it, you should at least ask for my help." And he points, and we see out just by the tuft of grass that cuts off the trunks of the trees of the forest, there's another footprint. This one is the same sort of size and almost wolf-like claw as the one in the police report that Jules saw earlier. Dale doesn't know that, though. As you take a look at this big thing, that looks like a big old wolf's paw.
Uh-oh.
A danger to you, and Chip looks like he's ready to run.
Yeah, I think at this point, without the context that the other hunters have, I think Dale is also similarly ready to run and is not necessarily in a Sherlock Holmes kind of mood.
We see Dale take off with his shoe back towards town, and our hunters will meet up. Wonderful. We see as Maggie and Jules leave the library with your information in tow. Are you headed to the clinic? Are you headed to somewhere to get Maggie's headache taken care of? Or are you going to shake it off, tough it out, and go somewhere else?
Do you want a cup of tea or something to help you? You seem to blemish.
Yes, I think Maggie, she doesn't think she's going to need to go to a clinic or anything, but she could use a nice cup of tea, and maybe that'll give her a chance to regroup.
Smart idea.
I check for the teacup and serve her one.
We see the two of you headed for a little shop, a little tea shop. Into downtown Havens Mill you go, and we can see as you step into one of those old kind of wooden buildings packed between an old Victorian house converted to a business and a brick facade. Across the way, we see a bubbling fountain, like a tiny little, almost like dollhouse mansion on the top. And in this park, the The leaves are just starting to feel that drought of late summer's heat. A few of the needles have fallen, and some of the early leaves have begun to turn and change. As the two of you head cross town, it doesn't take us long to see you get a cup of tea and you settle into a table outside. A beautiful days to do it. However, coming up the street seemingly with purpose is Dale. He has his cap back on, and you can still see something moving around under there, but he's moving with absolute focus. I assume to report this shoe and what he's said in some way. Dale, where are you headed when you spot these other hunters?
I think actually he probably was heading towards Maggie in the library because she's probably the main family he has in this area, as distant as she is.
Sure.
And so as he's walking, he spots her and he's like, "Oh, Auntie Grandma Maggie, I found something." And I run over and I'm carrying the shoe and I'm like, "I think I saw a scary creature in the woods and I saw wolf footprints and I found this kid's shoe. I think something scary's happening in the town."
Hey Dale, you see Maggie? I've told you it's werewolf.
Werewolf?
I've seen this footprints on the TV too.
What makes you say it's a werewolf? Are werewolves real?
All things supernatural are real. That's what Maggie said.
Okay, let's all calm down now. Maggie's sensing some growing panic here. So Maggie's like, okay, and Maggie, listen, she loves Dale. He's family, but he can be a bit of a mess. So Maggie's looking at Dale and thinking, okay, let's calm this boy down. Let's calm everybody down. We can't be running through the streets shouting werewolf. It'll cause a mass panic, okay? So Maggie's gonna
good chance for a bit of experience here. Let's see if you want to give him a quick charm person, perhaps. Ooh,
Okay.
your charm is a -1. You do not
My
have to
charm is
roll
bad.
it. But
No.
if you want to influence Dale and try to calm him down here, you will have to roll either that or an act under pressure.
I'm gonna try and act under pressure. That's
Okay.
a little bit better for me.
Sweet. Roll plus cool.
Okay.
One cool for Maggie. What did the dice say?
Oh no, that's a 5.
A 5.
Oh no.
Go ahead and mark your experience, and I will take a quick hard move. We see as Chip yanks the hair in under the hat, and an arm goes up. It crashes through the onto the edge of the table, spilling tea from both cups. And for just a second there, we see the hat kind of come up askew, and Chip kind of like looking so angry, like, "No, we have to get out of here." He whispers down into Dale's ear. He is too afraid to do anything about this, and part of the panic that's coming through with this human host is actually his little friends. Dale, what do you do? I'm sure there's a place you run when you're safe.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think Dale screams out of shock at the sudden movement that he's involuntarily making, but in a way that kind of makes the table flipping seem even more crazed and wild. I think he runs away and I think he heads to the local town grocery so that he can chill out in the ice cream aisle.
Wonderful. We see as you head into the coolers, surrounded by 7 different kinds of vanilla, and a variety of different types of various creams, vegans, who knows, the aisle is full and packed. But we find you just sort of like sitting in one of the aisles surrounded by ice creams. One of your associates comes over and like picks you up. Dale, this isn't like you. Now one of us is gonna have to restock those shelves. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. There's nothing scary. No humanoid wolves or anything. That would be crazy. I don't know why you would even bring that up.
Dust you off like, yeah, you're talking nonsense. Come on, let's sit you down, get you calm. And we see as you head towards the front of the store that your associate at the cashier at the register is talking to Margie, the ranger. You can see the ranger sort of putting up a bunch of stuff on the belt here, including a can of bear mace and a variety of vegetables and fruits, like too much for one person. Cans stacked tall on the shelves. Or on the belt, and she's talking animatedly to the cashier, like, "Oh, I'm gonna hold up until this pack gets through. I don't want to be out in the woods thinking about all these dang wolves." See, I've got a lot of PTO. I'm gonna take a couple weeks off until this all blows over, and then I'm gonna be back to business as usual.
I think Dale jumps and is like, wolves? Did you say wolves?
Wolves, a whole pack of them. I'm not really sure where they're coming from. We normally have them on tracker, but I'll tell you what, it is a nuisance. We've already seen 2 animals out on the farms adjacent to the town, taken bits of their fur left over, chain link fences torn down. No, I will be taking my time off.
I think, I don't... Did Dale ever get a chance to share his shoe with the fellow hunters?
I'm actually going to say you rushed off without the shoe.
Okay.
You probably tossed it in your fear, in that hard move. It flew up into the air. Maggie and Jules have it now.
Okay. I think Dale will just say, yeah, I saw a wolf by the docks. Or I think it was a wolf. I didn't get a good look.
Down by the docks? Well, that's pretty far out of the woods. Well, shoot, they shouldn't be out anywhere near that area. We got to do something about this. I'm gonna call the sheriff. And we see her like wheel off the cart, just like packed full of prepper foods, and like deterrents. Dale, Maggie seems like somebody who might be a good person to get some information from. Before she leaves, is there anything else you want to know? Do you want to try to roll and investigate a mystery to get some juice out of her?
Yes, I will. I'll do exactly that. That is
Wonderful.
a 9.
9 will get you 1 question. What would you like to know? It'll be framed in an answer from our ranger.
Okay, well, as part of my ability, I get an extra investigative mystery type. I get a bigger list of questions I can ask. So I'm going to ask one of my special questions. What about the creature isn't immediately obvious?
How do you want to say this in character to Maggie? What do you ask about? Oh, what's unusual with the wolves? How do you say it?
Yeah, so I think I'm like I think I say something like well, these, like, clearly there's some sort of wolf monster, wandering around. Like, all the clues fit that.
The way I see it, there's at least 2. And she looks over her shoulder. She was just like that classic, like, framed by a crash of lightning that isn't there. Everything behind her gets dark. We see half her face. She says, and 2 wolves. Well, only one of them's gonna live to be the alpha, Dale. Only one of them.
Dun.
And it ain't gonna be me. And we see Margie kind of scoot out of the store. The glass doors close behind her, and all the cashiers around you shake their heads, and they set you down to cool off for just a second. We pan back out to the street. On the street, we can see two friends looking worried at the departure of their chipmunk-influenced friend. We see Jules and Maggie. Are the two of you going to follow, or are you going to let Dale calm down and call him later?
I grab the shoe from the floor, and s- I'm sorry. I think I've overreacted. Maybe we should follow and try to help him down, to calm him down.
Maybe. I don't think it was your fault. Dale's been haywire lately. It's I think he's pushing himself too hard. He got employee of the month at the grocery store, and he's been crazy since. Just overworked. But yeah, let's go see if we can check him out. What's that you're holding though? Did he throw this shoe at you?
I think it falls from his hand when he run off.
Oh my gosh, see that's what I'm talking about. He's throwing shoes now. Okay, so Maggie's gonna grab the shoe and make sure it's tucked away.
Wonderful. We see the shoe tucked in. Maggie, I would say that it doesn't take you it doesn't take a great leap in logic for you to see that it's probably about Timothy's size. The boy was, 10, 11, 12 years old, and you know the size of the kids around. They come into the library. You feel pretty confident it could be his.
Oh, okay. So she's gonna be holding that shoe and she notices it's definitely kid sized and she's like, "Oh, maybe Dale was found this somewhere and is holding it for a reason." Um maybe let me think. Maybe she'll want to investigate a mystery with that shoe?
You can certainly try. I would say that if you're gonna use investigate a mystery, it would be best suited to do it where the shoe was found. The
Okay,
shoe
okay.
itself may not reap as much clue.
Okay, so Maggie's just gonna keep onto the shoe knowing that it might be important and be like, "We need to go catch Dale and see if he can tell us more about what's going on, this shoe, all of it."
No, but I think of it. There's tire I've seen on the screen on the photos. Might be from a kid's bike.
Oh, from a kid's bike.
I don't
Huh.
know. I'm asking to Heron. To is maybe the kids the photos I've seen of the tire in the mud. Are they from Teens Bike too? Teens
Great
Bike. Sorry.
question, Guillaume. That's a great question. We see as you kind of like pull up the photo, the thought getting you zoom in a little, and it's a little hard to say with this picture. The original of the picture is sure to be with the sheriff if you wanted to go ask, or you still have three locations pinned down to try to figure out where this all happened. You could start going to check it out yourself.
Um, I talk about it, but I think we
Hmm.
better go to check on Dell before.
As you're looking, you do get the sense that it certainly could be. That's a good guess. As the two of you head, you find Dale. One of the cashiers kind of just like sees you come in and motions with a hand. We go to the break room of the grocery store, and we can see Dale in an incredibly comfortable, nourished position. Chris, what does Dale look like as swaddled as he needs to be?
Um, I think that he is, yeah, he's sitting down, crisscross applesauce, and he's just eating scoops of ice cream straight from the carton.
They've got you your favorite flavor. We can see the spoon is much too large, and comically big bites of ice cream just go into Dale's mouth. Like one sneaks up into the hat, comes back empty a second later. The two of you have him here. He's calm, and he's been his fears and worries have been forgotten for a moment.
Cool, Dale. You have us in fear. Are you okay?
Yeah, I guess I'm okay. I was just a little freaked out. I found that shoe by the docks, and I thought it might have been from, a kid who went missing or something. And I got chased by a scary creature nearby, and I saw that wolf footprint, and it was all just a lot to handle.
Oh, well, yeah, that explains it, Some advice, Dale. You could have told us a bit of that before you went running off into the sunset, screaming at the top of your lungs, and you threw this shoe at us. But you said you found this by the docks then. Oh, yes, I mean, looking at it, it definitely looks like a little kid's shoe. Um, oh, goodness. And you said wolf? Oh,
Yeah,
uh, maybe we should talk to somebody. I don't know. So you've already been to the docks. Maybe we could go to the sheriff and see if we can tell him everything we found. I mean, especially with this shoe, this could be evidence.
And that and all those bike trails too. There might be some location to check. So maybe the sheriff have some intels to help us, or maybe we can help them on the investigation.
Okay, so it sounds like maybe we can split up. One of us should go check in with the sheriff, make sure he gets this shoe, and then maybe the rest of us can go check out those bike trails.
Yeah, sure. I've got the location of the bike trail, so we want to come with me to check it out.
Sure thing. I think I'm gonna go to the sheriff, check things out. So, also, I'm gonna be honest. With my back, I don't know if I can manage those bike trails. So you guys go ahead and check out those trails, and let's meet back up in a bit and chat through what we've learned.
sounds good, Maggie. Let's go, Jules.
You exchange a
Come on, Dale.
number, and the party splits. Two of you heading off and into the woods, the bike trails of Haven around Haven's Mill ahead of you. As you look over, Dale, you can see that that Jules has 2 or 3 positions labeled on the map. You might be able to help narrow it down. Do you want to try to give it a quick investigative mystery here? See if you can help out.
Yeah, I'll do just that. As more of a local. Oh my god, my rolls are crazy today. I got another 13.
13 and gets you the same effect here. You have 2 questions, and one of them can be any question you'd like.
Well, where should we go? Where should we go next?
A
Is
gut
what I'll
instinct
ask.
is a good question here. You point at the map and say, like, oh, the bike trails don't go here, and actually this is a logging road, so you've logged off 2 of the places that you feel like it could be. You're still not 100% confident, but as a local, you've probably taken these trails on hikes and traveled them your whole life. So you're feeling pretty good. As you go to make your way there, the 2 of you kind of walk through this lightly dappled forest. We can see off in the distance, up on the hill, the gleaming dome of the observatory above the tree line, and just beginning to disappear behind you down the path, we can see the tip of the lighthouse. As the 2 of you start to move through, the day passes, and we see the apex of the sun move into early afternoon. Eventually, you find the spot. With that successful question, we see as you walk up to a space that looks like it has these wheel tracks, and they are dug into the mud, but they're a little bit faded from some of time. Maybe the last night's dew has marked them. So to track them, you'll need an act under pressure. Who would like to roll it?
Um, I I wonder. I would choose a new move with my experience from earlier.
Your level up
Um,
move. What did you take?
I skimmed through the playbooks and I find the flake, and there is something that is totally in character, like where you have some internet friends, some I think Instagram sort of followers or something like that who could help you out. So maybe I can take some photos and I have some friends to help me out.
Nice. Your concerned friends have officially become not only a canon but a move. I love it. We see
That's
as
It's
amazing.
you
net
use
friends.
this net friends. You do still need to use a roll here, right? I'm gonna pull it up right
Yes,
now.
it's a plus charm, and I have a +2, so it's
Ooh, all right. Let's see what you roll.
I roll a 10.
Perfect success. Tell us what you get with a perfect success.
On a 10 plus, they're available and helpful. They can fix something, break a code, hack a computer, or get you some special information.
Perfect. Net friends.
On the fake.
We can see as you get to ask for one of those things. So I'm assuming you probably want some special information. Here is that safe bet.
Yes.
We see as you send out some pictures, and pretty quickly the responses start to come in, little chimes, vibrations on your phone as a couple of friends come back into the thread you're making. And one of them says, a friend of yours back home says, "Those aren't bike tires. Those are wheelchair tracks. They're side by side all the way up, parallel all the way up, and as you follow along further and further, you can see as they just sort of end. You see that the rain or the light sprinkle that happened last night actually built up a little bit of mud around the tires where they sat here for some time. And the two of you can see that there are no wheel tracks moving forward. Chris, I believe you have one question more.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask this anyway. It might be even more pertinent now. What is being concealed here?
I think it's pretty clear to Dale that Superintendent Keller is a werewolf. And as you're sort of thinking about it and thinking about the tear-jerked press conference that you probably saw some of today, you can't help but feel betrayed. Uh, but what I would say is that it's clear that he didn't seem to walk from this chair. And as you look and kind of do another circle around, you see that the first set of footprints from the chair are 30 feet ahead, and the next steps 30 feet ahead. It seems like he's jumping.
Hmm.
What did the two of you want to do? Last moments in your scene before we turn back to Maggie.
Maybe if he jumped from the wheelchair and flee from there, there may be a wheelchair around, hidden, or maybe we can look for it. There might be clue in it. Clue.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I would like to. Yeah, I would like to help Jules look.
Wonderful. We see the two of you starting to scour the ground. Jules, I'll say you can have one more investigate a mystery here to see if you can
Okay.
find some last clues.
It will be a 9.
A 9 gets you one question, but Dale was going to help. Do you want to roll to help out, Chris?
Yes.
That's going to be plus cool. Our first help out of the night. You have a
So
plus
that
1
is
to
an
cool.
8 total.
8 total is a mixed success. Your help grants them a plus 1, bringing Guillaume's total to 10, but you expose yourself to trouble or danger. Wonderful. Guillaume, you have 2 questions here. What would you like to know?
If we are searching for the wheelchair, maybe what is being considered here is one to check. But Dale asked it before, so I don't know if it's okay.
You can definitely ask again, and I think that kind of reframing it is a strong choice here. Is that the one you'd like to use?
Yes.
we see you follow these steps all the way up to where you spot sort of a tangled mess in the jungle. You're not sure, or in the forest. You're not sure how the sheriff missed it, but he's not the smartest guy or the sharpest tool. We can see as you look through this scene, the scene of a shuffle. There seems to be claw marks on some of the trees, and they are in different sizes. It looks like it's either foot and hand claws or teeth marks. It's unsure what it could be, but they're on a couple of trees around this area, as if there was some sort of scuffle. You also see with that, I think, that the tracks seem to lead. They seem to kind of turn back in the woods once they've done what they needed to do here, and they seem to be heading back towards the shoreline. You have one more question.
I just say for now that if he's jumping, maybe it's not a werewolf, but a were-kangaroo. What sort of creature is it?
As you're looking at the tracks, you can tell that this thing is definitely wolf-like. It has the paws, the claws, but it is a longer sort of human-sized foot. However, you can see that around each of the spaces that it's in, it seems to be almost this like char around the spaces it is. And then I will say, you find a couple of footprints that don't have that same effect. Confirmed werewolf. We turn back as the two of you look at your last clues here to Maggie. Maggie, well across town and in one of the safer spots we can see as you approach the sheriff's office. It's a squat little building in town, not far off of the edge of downtown, and we see sort of sitting on the front of his car, drinking a coffee out front, is Sheriff Dana Collins. Sheriff Dana looks at you as you approach and kind of gives you a smile and a nod and tips his coffee to you. Morning, Maggie.
Oh, good morning, Sheriff. How have you been? Oh, I see you've already got a coffee. I was gonna bring you some tea, but I figured you might be a coffee drinker. All you sheriffs are.
Oh, I have tea at night, but
Mm.
I'll take it. And he holds both, and just like is holding two hot, steamy cups in his hands, drinking from one and then the other. Maggie, congratulations, another collectible. As you pull your shoe from your bag, what do you say?
Oh, Sheriff, you might want to take a look at this. You know my grand great nephew, removed nephew, great grandson nephew,
Oh yeah, Dale,
Dale.
huh? Yeah, Dale.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Dale. Um, he found this by the docks, and I just knew I would have to get this to you because I don't know about you. This looks like a child's shoe. So Maggie's gonna hand it over.
The sheriff takes it in his hands and then flips open a notebook in his pocket and says, "It's the right size." Well, shoot. He said he found this down by the docks? Well, Maggie,
Yep.
I suppose we better go take a look. You wanna hop in?
Oh yeah, I love riding in the cop car. Can you turn the
Yeah.
lights on?
Of course, we can. And we see him like do a full U-turn. The tires squeal and the lights come on. There's nobody in the streets. He doesn't bother anybody doing it, but we see him tear off out of screen. And then the sheriff looks, kind of as he does, he looks at the little panel in his desk or in his center console, and he starts like looking around the map. He says, "Can you show me where on the map he did?" And we'll say Dale showed you. As you pointed out, we can see that it's probably about a stone's throw from the lighthouse and is on one of the closer docks to the shore. As you pull up to that parking spot, the sheriff gets out and kind of like the two of you we see walking down the slope of this, down the stairs to where the docks meet. And there you can see some of the signs of what Dale saw earlier today. You can see the sort of the packed down grass in a perfect rectangle, like a tarp was laid over it. And the sheriff kind of nods and looks about. He says, "Well, Maggie, what do you make of it?" He's in his notebook.
Oh. And Maggie's gonna look at the grass. She's gonna look around. Maybe this time she's gonna want to do the investigate a mystery.
Excellent choice. Plus sharp, please.
That's Maggie's strongest trait, so that's gonna be a +2.
A +2 indeed. Change over
And
your
that's,
guys' track.
That's a 9.
All right, Maggie, no help from a fellow player here. A 9 has to ride. You've got one question. What would you like to know?
Okay. She's gonna ask straightforward, what happened here?
You can see that a young boy camped here. And as you're sort of searching around the edge of this place, you can see what Dale pointed out to you earlier: the footprint in the muck, the signs of someone dragging this tarp full of stuff across the grass. And as you're looking around, you spot that this trail continues down and around the cliffs towards like the rocky shore by the lighthouse. The sheriff comes over and he says, "Oh, that's a bit strange, isn't it? What do you think that was? Some sort of big slug, or like a person dragging their body along?"
Maggie's not completely sure, but she's gonna point out the lighthouse and say, "I don't know for sure, but it looks like we're gonna want to head over to that lighthouse."
We can still see like a thought bubble above the sheriff's head. He's thinking like absurd situations, like Easter Island head. I'm not sure. What? Well, all right. I guess we go check it out, huh? And the sheriff kind of unclips the taser at his waist and warily begins to step into the forest. Maggie, you are, like you said, you have a bad back. Are you following along with him carefully?
Yeah, Maggie, when she gets her eye on the prize, she gets a little extra energy. So she's keeping up, she's moving those legs, and she wants to see what's going on with the lighthouse.
Wonderful. In that case, we see as you follow along in the sheriff's footsteps, and for just a few moments, we watch as you two pass through trees that seem like critters are shaking in the shadows. We can see as you kind of go through this ominous sort of like cartoon forest feeling begins to sink in, and the sheriff, looking nervous, he grabs at your arm. He's like, "It's spooky in here. Why are there no birds? None of the creatures are singing. Something's amiss, Maggie."
It sure is. Birds are sometimes smarter than humans. They know when something's afoot and they get going. So yeah, Maggie knows that there's something supernatural going on here, and all the animals have cleared out.
We see the two of you kind of warily make your way down and around, and then you spot the lighthouse. We see an enormous red-white lighthouse casting its light over the coastline, the stones jutting from the main coast down into rocky beaches. But that is not where the trail goes. As you start to follow it around the base of this lighthouse, we see this dragging trail head down to the sea. And from the top, you and the sheriff both spot a cave mouth down by the beach.
Oh no, somebody's hiding out in the caves.
I hope they didn't drag that boy down here.
Oh, we should get ready, cause I know whatever's in those caves, it's gonna be creepy.
Yeah, that's true. All right. And he pulls out his weapon. Maggie, do you prepare yourself in some sort of martial way?
Oh yeah, Maggie's gonna pull out her magnum. She knows it's time. She always knows she has to have her trusty magnum at her side.
It's comically larger than the sheriff's gun. As you pull it out, like he looks over and is like, Oh, damn. And then the two of you make your way down the rocky shale and into a small cavern. We see as you make your way in that there does appear to be a few kind of footsteps, a child's footsteps somewhere about and in this space. And as you kind of make your way in, do you shout? Do you come in quiet? What's your approach?
He's gonna call out the child's name, because if she could hear him and know they're all right, it would make her feel much better.
You shout out, and the friendliness of your voice will depend upon this roll. Can you go ahead and roll to manipulate someone, please?
Will do.
Uh-oh. -1 to charm.
Oh gosh. -1. Ooh, that's a 3.
A 3.
No.
Tough moment for a hard move, but you can go ahead and mark an experience here. As you are creeping in, you see a small space that is reminiscent of like a teen or tween's hideout in the woods. It has posters on the walls and a little wooden desk settled on the side, pushed up against, made out of kind of nautical crates. You can see the space of a little sleeping bag and a pillow tucked in one corner, wrapped up and carefully put away. But you see no sign of Timothy. However, you do see a sign of something else. As you are walking in, we see as you the cave mouth is shadowed by something enormous. A hulking figure blocks the light between you and it. And we see as you turn, and all you can see are red eyes floating 6 or 7 feet above the air. Maggie, what are you going to do?
Maggie's going to... Oh, let's see. I mean, this might be time to... I'm between kicking some ass or acting under pressure. Yeah, it might be time to kick some ass here.
It might be that time. Our first kick the ass roll of the night. We're going to be rolling plus tough. How tough is Maggie?
Oh, Maggie's a tough cookie. She's a +1 tough.
A +1 tough? That is a tough old broad.
Okay, here we go. She rolled a 13.
A 13? Sheesh. On a 12, well, on a kick some ass, you and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on each other. On a 12 plus, you get to pick an enhanced effect. You may completely hold the advantage, giving all hunters in the fight +1. It's only you for now. You can suffer no harm at all. You can inflict double the normal harm, or you can drive the enemy away in a rout. What does Maggie want to do?
Maggie doesn't want to completely decimate this creature, so she just wants to get him away from the cave so she can check in and see if Timothy's okay. So she wants to drive the creature away.
All right, as you fire your gun, how much damage does it do? Is your Magnum 3 damage, is that right?
Yes, I think so. Let's see.
Big deciding blow. You will, however, take a little bit of damage as well. It's on your tail. As you turn around, it is so close that you barely have a place to pull your Magnum up and fire. And as you do, it lashes out with a set of claws and rakes the side of your face. We see 3 deep gouges across Maggie's neck, shoulders, and lower jaw. You're going to take 2 harm here. Before armor, do you have anything that modifies that?
Anything that modifies the harm?
No armor, right?
No, I don't believe so.
Cool. You take 2 harm, and we watch the sheriff fire away at his weapon, and we see something insane. As you fire, and as this goes, hey, ouch! And then it's gone. In a flash of purple smoke, we see this werewolf disappear. And it's not in sight. You don't see it anywhere. The sheriff looks back and around. Right now, you're kind of like holding your jaw, but even you don't see him. And then you look out, and the sheriff looks up and says, "How did he get up there?" And at the top of the cave, we see the sheriff's point of view as this werewolf teleports another 30 feet and 30 feet in a puff of smoke. This isn't just a werewolf. It's a werewolf.
Oh my god!
We see the two of you. The sheriff gets down on his knees to bandage, to help bandage. He pulls out an emergency first aid kit, and he helps you put yourself back together. But it is a grievous wound, Maggie, and it's probably the first one you've taken like this in a long time. The sheriff looks worried. What do you say?
Maggie's gonna go ahead and say, "Oh, that stings, but it's okay. Do you still have that tea on you?"
Yeah, of course. Here, take it. And the sheriff hands you the tea.
Maggie's just gonna pour the whole thing over her face and just go, "Oh."
Maggie, you do have the opportunity to try to use magic here. If you want to kind of give yourself a heal. Dumping the tea over, heal one wound. You want to roll plus weird?
Yes, let's do that. Okay. Maggie does not have a buff to weird, but that's okay. Oh my gosh, no. Maggie's struggling today. She rolled a 3.
A 3. Your 3 won't do it. So a hard move here as well. As this thing teleports away, we see Maggie grow faint. As you do, we see the world begin to spin through your perspective. A tunnel vision fades to black, and we see the sheriff holding you in his arms. And as he pulls into his radio, "I need some help here down by the lighthouse." And we see him begin to try to carry you up to the parking lot in Lighthouse's shadow. We turn our way back to our other 2 hunters, up and in the hills, through the forest, bike paths crossing and crisscrossing across the wooded interior. We see our mundane and our host. Where are the 2 of you headed?
Are we following the trail, the werewolf trail?
Tracks down the way? You certainly can. Is that where you'd like to go?
What do you think, Dale?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
We see the 2 of you follow these jumping footprints, and unfortunately, I'm holding a hard move in my back pocket. As you come around the crest of a hill, your heads poke up, and you see down into a low basin, a set of sort of broken logs laying across what looks to be an old, overgrown hiking path. You spot a wheelchair. It's positioned out of the way, tucked under a couple of branches, and it certainly looks like it was intended to be hidden. What do the 2 of you want to do?
I'll go check the wheelchair and see if there's other clues on it.
You can see its regular wheelchair. Certainly has a little bit of wear and tear from getting into the woods here. Some scratches along the sides. Its wheels are that kind of hard rubber, so it doesn't have flats. But there doesn't appear to be anybody around it. However, you can see as you dig around that there. Actually, go ahead and roll to investigate a mystery here, Guillaume.
It's a plus sharp, was it? 11.
Plus sharp for our mundane, a +1 for Jules.
So it's 11.
You can see, and you have 2 questions to ask here, but you can see that there seems to be some sort of lump, kind of like almost like a ghillie suit fabric that is camouflaged to blend into the foliage. And then you can see that there is, on the other side of this log, a path that seems to continue down towards the docks and lighthouse. After you see this package of something, you hear a grunt of pain and the sounds of something shoosh, shoosh, shoosh. What do you want to know?
What happened here?
What happened here? As you go to pull the fabric up, you can see that there is an incredibly like a nice fabric business suit bundled into a package of camouflage fabric. It's tucked away and hidden here, but you can sense that it's with the wheelchair.
So it seems the person who used the wheelchair had time to tuck his clothes away. It's not like the classic wolf that stretches his clothes out. In fact, ripped out that with his clothes out. Maybe we can find some ID in it to make sure, but even we already have some idea about with it.
Ooh, another clue?
Yep. I forgot about the footprint, so here it is.
So I check for some maybe ID in the pockets.
Wonderful. We see as you start to pull through. You do have one more question here. Do you want to go with sort of a? Ooh, I don't know. I would say as you start to look through, you can feel that there's a wallet in the pants of this suit. It's in the front pocket, but it's going to be hard to get out. And as you're looking up, Dale, you can see as you peek out over the log, something big is approaching, and you can see it just sort of jumping 30 feet, and then another, and then a grunt of pain, and then a few stuttered steps. Something is approaching, and it does not look good. Jules, you have one more question. Dale, would you like to roll to read a bad situation?
Yes, I would. That is a 11.
An 11 is a wonderful 3 hold. Let's get Guillaume's question out of the way first here, and then we'll see those bad situation questions to wrap us up before the break. Guillaume, what does Jules want to know with his last question?
Is there in this wallet something that can interest us at what can hurt it?
Ooh. I think what can hurt it is the perfect question here. What you find in the wallet is Superintendent Keller's identity, his ID card. And if he is a man of the people, as he tells those on the media that he is, if he is a true participant in town, then his weakness is his secret identity. Using it against him in a clever way is the best way to stay as out of danger. It is his weakness for sure. Jules, you pocket this, or as you sort of like pull this wallet, you look up at Dale, you show him the ID. The both of you have this identity confirmed. What do you want to do?
Well, Dale, well, I guess I just read a bad situation. So Dale wants to get out of here. So I think the first thing he wants to check is what's the best way out.
What's the best way out is certainly right now to hide. Ducking into something that can shelter you before this thing sees you is going to be your quickest way to safety. But out, if you're really looking to exit here, you can go back the way you came, back up, and then that path continues towards the observatory.
Okay. I think Dale might do something a little silly. So he has the alternate weird move, no limits,
Nice.
which is like letting Chip command him to do things that he normally couldn't do. And I think in this case, Chip is an expert at digging holes, and so I think he would like to. I think Chip takes over and is going to try and dig a hole for him and Jules to hide in.
I love that. No limits is plus weird to push your physical body past its limits. Go ahead and roll those dice.
That is a 7.
A 7 is a mixed success. You'll do it, but choose one consequence. You can take a harm, you can take a -1 forward, or you'll need to rest right now.
Interesting. So -1 forward means the next roll I make, I have a penalty?
The next roll.
I'll do that.
Exactly. A -1 forward. I'll hold for Dale. We see. Describe it for us. I mean, it's an incredibly cartoonish endeavor to watch you dig a hole this fast. How does it look?
I think in Hanna-Barbera cartoon style, he does like a diver pose where he claps his hands in a triangle above his head, and he squats a few times, and then he jumps and he dives into the dirt and manages to just, swim into the ground. I think the Force, if Jules wants to, no pressure if he wants to be braver, but the Force can knock Jules in if he wants as well.
Ooh, nice. Love it. Jules, how do you want to get in there? Do you get knocked right in, or do you just sort of jump in yourself after a moment's hesitation?
I want to follow, but I'll be covered in dirt as I'm not used to it, and I stumble and I'm aggressive, so I would be. It won't be as clean as Dale at all.
Do you want to try to get a picture before you get in there? I think that'll be an act under pressure, and it would be a great clue to have.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll try it.
Give it a roll.
It's a 10.
10. You manage to not only look smooth getting into the hole, but you snap a perfect picture. Jules, what do we see from this? Like, what sort of action shot did you manage to snag?
You mean of the werewolf coming, or
of the werewolf
Dale,
coming in? Yeah.
Do you remember the last the last session where there was a picture after picture of the initiate? I think something like that of the werewolf getting closer and closer before we disappear into the mud, into the hole.
Perfect. In that case, what we see is we see the two of you huddled like the hobbits below the road, the rider in black up top. We see the werewolf for just a moment take a big sniff. He crouches down above the hole and he looks around like, I'm certain to find someone here. And then he gets back up and you hear him start speaking as he sort of seemingly starts to, girl, I can't believe she shot me. Oh. He howls out, and then we hear that howl start to just turn into a grunt of pain, and then we hear the soft sounds of a person getting dressed. He's mumbling under his breath. He's like, just trying to spook her. Ouch. Why would that old lady carry such a big gun? Jeez. And then we hear that voice change even further, and it sounds just like the one Jules heard on the television this morning. Jules, it sounds like Superintendent Keller is out there.
I checked the ID and the same, that right? Is that right?
It looks like the man. As you poke your head out for just a second, Kurt, like just the eyes, just the eyes on the edge of the thing. You see him. You look down. You see him. Person for sure. But as you look at Dale and nod and point and say, "This is it. This is the guy," the two of you hear the crack of something. The wheelchair starts to move, and then as it does, it tumbles off the path, and we see spilling into frame, eyes looking at yours, meeting the two of you, is Superintendent Keller. He gets up on his elbow and he goes, "Well, looks like we have a problem, don't we, boys?" And then he starts to tuft up with fur and teeth get long. And that's where we're going to take our break.
Oh, gosh.
All right, friends, it is about that time. We're going to take a short 15-minute break. We'll be back in less than that to talk, discuss, and settle back in. But for now, a soft 5. Go ahead and top off your breakfast cereal, grab your coffee, make sure you've used the bathroom and gotten your blankie, and then we'll be back in just a few. All right, friends?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Howdy, all.
Hey.
Hello.
I had to top off the coffee, and it's good. My goodness, we have a sticker just like I had one of the stickers here. Guillaume got it in his first scene, and I just gave it away. Maggie's Diner. Alas, I spaced. That was the first one on the list, so you're one sticker away from completing your pack. You've also got all 3 of the good guy cards, so you guys can go ahead and mark an experience point to commemorate your tremendous victory over this collectible minigame.
Woo!
And that is a level up from me then.
Oh,
So I'm
big
gonna have to figure out.
decisions.
Yes, I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do.
There's no time like the present. Have you any thoughts? Are you lacking in a particular skill that your advancements might let you bump a +1 to?
You know, I'm considering adding an infirmary to the library. So
new
anytime
library
someone,
spot.
yes, so anytime someone gets hurt, we can hustle them over to the library.
A little medical bay of sorts. I like that. That's a good
Yes.
idea. What are you thinking? Is that what you're gonna go with?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
How about you, Chris? How's Dale looking? Is he close to a level up?
I have been plagued with good rolls today. I wish I could transfer these rolls, because some of mine I was actually curious what would happen if I failed, but I am rolling too good, so that's the only experience I have.
Well, good rolls are good for the story, but so are bad rolls. So thank you to the rest of you for rolling bad for me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. That's me. I'm contributing all the bad rolls today.
We need to share our luck. Just divvy it up.
I would love if when I was looking at your icon earlier today, I was thinking to myself that it would be hilarious if Chip opened his mouth to speak too.
Wait, yeah, I gotta make that change.
He's not much of a talker, right? He whispers in your ear, but he doesn't really talk to everybody else, right?
True. Maybe a whisper pose where he's whispering in my ear.
All right. Well, in that case, we're going to have to see if we can get you some more experience, Chris. 1 is simply not enough. Let's come back from break. We have about an hour left, and to let everyone know what happens at the end of a Monster of the Week game, we ask a couple of questions towards the end that can maybe get us a little bit more experience. But as we head into the end of Act 3, we can expect to raise the stakes a little bit. Things are going to pick up, and the clues that our friends have found are going to start to come together. Do we have any questions before we get back started? Sounds good.
Nope.
In that case, left shoe, right foot. That's the name of this lovely song to start us off over break. Let's go to the wayside. We see a wooded glade. The mixed foliage of a very northern forest. The edge of the Atlantic coast, pushing some of the shapes of these trees into odd configurations of bark, limb, and branch. We can see some of these have fallen. They're corpses, now the new growth of a forest blooming at the end of a long, wet summer. We can see as the pathways that mark both sides of where this fallen log had protected the wheelchair. We can see both of them are overgrown. An unkempt and unwalked part of the logging trails, bike paths, and hiking trails that make up the crisscrossed egress of Havens Mills forests. A kind of a shout and a fall, perhaps not getting into things as smoothly because of the magnum wound in his body. We see as Superintendent Keller spills to the ground, and as he does, he looks up and says, Well, it looks like we've got a little problem, boys. And then starts to bristle, his fur beginning to tuft out of his arms, his claws beginning to form out of his fingertips, his teeth beginning to drip with saliva. The two of you are in grave danger here, as far as you know. What do you want to do here?
As he's still in his wheelchair, can I rush to him and try to push him in the underbrush behind him from his wheelchair, and so we can try to rush and flee? Maybe.
You want to try to see if you can get him in the hole before he's fully transformed, and then dart off with Dale at your heels. Is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's give it a try. We see he is still seated as he transforms. We can actually see as for the majority of his transformation, he's sort of like getting up, but not quite out of his chair just yet. He kind of looks like this right now. And as he starts to snarl, we see Jules is dart from the hole and go to try to push him in. Jules, give me an act under pressure.
Wouldn't be maybe kicking ass? Or
You want to give him some kick some ass instead? Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll plus tough.
With +1 from tough, it's 7.
A 7 is a mixed success. On a kick some ass, that means that you and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on each other. As you scramble from the hole and go to push Superintendent Keller in the middle of his transformation in, he manages to grasp you with one of his arms. The car goes, the wheelchair goes tumbling into the hole just as Dale dodges out of the way, Chip pulling at his hairs. And we see the man kind of grasp at your arm and dig in claws that grow into your flesh. You take 2 harm, Jewel. As you go to throw him in, he falls and tumbles into the hole. Dale scrambles about. And as he does, you can see he's finishing his transformation. But you bought yourself some time. What do the two of you want to do?
Dale is... Well, Chip rather is going to book it, using Dale's body.
We see the pull of your hair begin to tug your limbs like a marionette. You spin full 180 and begin to just march your way out of the forest. On his tail, Jules, are you headed that way as well?
I follow and I try to go as far as I can.
We see the two of you beginning to make your way. Chris, would you like to head up to the observatory in what you know is the longer path, or do you want to head down towards the docks the shorter way, now that there's nothing between you and them?
Maggie went to the observatory, right?
Maggie was at the lighthouse last we saw her.
Okay.
Just below the lighthouse.
We saw him coming from the observatory, I think, no?
We saw him coming from the scene below the lighthouse where he was shot with a magnum. So he was coming from the lighthouse and was in your way on the shorter path.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, I'll rush over towards the observatory.
We can see as you turn tail and run in the opposite direction, Jules on your heels. We see as from the pit emerges a puff of smoke as he completes his transformation. We can see the figure begins to sort of snarl, but the wounds seems to hurt because damn that librarian. And he starts to teleport towards you. 1, 2, 3. He's on your tail. The two of you are going to both need an act under pressure to try to get away here. That's going to be plus
Okay.
2.
And I have a -1 from that earlier.
Ooh, -1 to your 0 is going to be a tough roll, Chris. Oh, you
Okay, that's a 7.
Righty.
7-2.
7 and a 7. Mixed successes both. In this case, an act under pressure comes with 3 choices. A hard move, a price to pay, or a worse outcome. Here's what I'll say. A hard choice, you can certainly split up, and the werewolf will come after one of you, tagging along and leaving the other in a safer situation. Or you can both take one harm as he manages to claw you, but then you'll get away in that last instance. Do you want to take your harm, or would you like to get one of you away scot-free?
Personally, might want to split up. If that's, I don't know how you're feeling though, Jules.
That's exactly what I thought.
All right, in that case, I need both of you to roll me a d6, please. Flat d6.
Okay.
All we're going to do is see who rolls lower.
3.
I got a 1.
1 is the lowest. We see as the two of you split up, the classic cartoon chase scene begins, and we can see as the werewolf begins to turn towards Jewel. It sprints in your direction. 1 step, 2 steps, jump, poof, it's in front of you. And we see Jewel sort of, as his heels dig into the gravel, the werewolf now above him, slavering. I'm gonna catch you, little man, and the claws reach out for you. On a mixed success here, Jewel, you will take 1 harm as he gets a glancing blow. And then, as he catches your arm with his claws, it rips some of the fabric of your shirt. You scoot by him, and into the woods you dash. We see the two of you moving between trees and around. You come into the frame, run into each other, run back out the other ways. And we see Dale running all by himself on the other side. Dale, Chip would have you run away from this situation, but you know Jules needs help. How do you want to do this?
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, so I think Dale is gonna try and take control of his body a little bit. Try and, swat at Chip a bit so that he can try and make a distraction or something to redirect the werewolf to him.
Nice. I'd go with a protect someone here or a help out if you'd like. Which one would you prefer? They're tough or cool, respectively.
I'll say help out.
Wonderful. Go ahead and roll plus cool.
That is a 9 plus 1, so that's a 10.
10. In this case, Dale, you managed to override Chip's controls, and we see your head turn around. You see Jules getting chased all around the woods from here to there and everywhere. He'll turn a corner and poof, the werewolf will appear. He's never going to get away on his own. However, you skid to a halt, and into your ear, Chip whispers, "No, we can't go back. We gotta get out of here. They know that guy."
He seems cool to me.
Oh, fine. And we see him sort of whip your hair around, your legs go backwards. You scramble into a new position and launch a cloud of white dust behind you in your wake. Dale, you rolled a 10 to give Jules plus 1. Jewel, what do you want to do with that 1? Are you going to fight back, or are you going to try to get away? You can also roll a read a bad situation here if you want to figure out more.
Sorry, I didn't hear the end of your phrase.
You can also roll a read a bad situation here if you'd like to do more.
Will it use the plus 1, or can I keep it from maybe the action I will do next?
You'll use your plus 1 in the next roll for a typical hold forward. So whichever one you want the 1 for is the one you should roll now.
Okay. Yes. I try to fight back. I still have my new tire iron in the bag, so I just take my bag and just with the tire iron in it and plug it into his face and try to flee after that.
Oh my gosh, a club from the trunk. Go ahead and roll to kick some ass here. That's going to be plus tough, plus 1. What do the dice have to say?
even with the +1 forward, it will be only a 5.
Oh no!
Can I use my luck?
This is a good time to use it.
So luck it is.
A luck can either make you roll a 12 here or avoid all harm. You will be taking a blow should you take a 12.
If I take a blow, I will go unstable. I don't know what it means.
Well, unstable just really means that unless you take care of it with some medical or some magical means, you're gonna get worse over time. But we're in the last hour. Don't worry too much about unstable. Worry a little bit more about that threshold for death.
Okay, so I just use the 12 and take the harm.
Wonderful. On a 12 plus, you and whatever fighting inflict harm on each other, and you get one of the extra effects, not one of the enhanced ones. So you can either give or take +1 forward to yourself or Dale. You can inflict terrible harm, suffer less harm yourself, or force them where you want them to go.
Can I force them to stay there while I run far?
Yeah, I think a clobber on the head is enough. We see as you give him the tire iron right to the middle of his head. Little birds start to tweet and sing around him. He sees little stars and asterisks and hashtags floating above him. But as he does, he sort of Frankenstein arms out and palms you forward. You go flying 2, 3, 4 feet into the back, your back hitting a trunk of a tree. You take 2 harm, and you'll take a -1 forward since you've gone unstable. So your next roll is a -1. However, as this thing starts to go, the two of you see as it just and as it falls over, it starts to turn back into Superintendent Keller. And we can see as he lifts his head up, an enormous bump is forming on the top of his head where you just clobbered him, a red lump coming up out of his hair. And he looks at you guys and says, Okay, I give up. Sheesh, please don't clobber me again.
Since he's transforming back, can I still talk to him now?
You can talk to him. What do you say?
Superintendent, is that you that took Timothy away? Where is it?
Yes, I suppose. Well, it's too late to change it now. I took Timothy, yes. I shouldn't have done it, but I've taken good care of the boy. You must understand, the school district just hasn't been getting the attention it deserves. Our school has been terribly low on funding. We're looking at staff cuts. There's not going to be any books or new desks next year, and I was hoping for a little bit of publicity. I'm afraid things have taken a bit of a turn, though. It seems, my kidnapping hasn't gone unnoticed. Who are you people, and why did you clobber me with a tire iron?
Just the usual interested crowd of the city. We can go unhelpful when a little boy is missing. Please, where is it? Where is he? We can. Your idea isn't a good solution to have new foundings.
The superintendent looks at you like you've grown a second head. He's like, I can't just tell you where the boy is. Unfortunately, he's missing. Last I left him, we set him up with a nice little spot in a cave below the lighthouse. He knew what was going on, all right? He agreed to it. I didn't kidnap him against his will. But I'll admit, he thought it was a little spooky down there, and I think he was sleeping outside. I found the sheriff and a librarian over by the docks, looking at where he had pitched his tent last night. I'm not sure where he's gotten off to, but he wasn't in the cave. Wait, do you know that old lady? that shot me, and you can see him like holding a wound. He seems to have healed some, as if he's regenerating, but it still looks like a pretty bad bullet wound.
Oh yes, that is the librarian. What have you done to her?
Oh, well, I tried to spook her a bit, but then she shot me, so I clawed her face. I didn't mean to do it, but I couldn't help myself.
You clawed my auntie grandma's face?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was an accident. Look, I have pretty good control over my form, but it's not perfect. I didn't mean to do it.
Quick, Dale. We need to check on your grandma, your auntie.
Yes. Let's do that right away. But first, why are you a werewolf?
Oh, no. Why? Shoot, it's a curse, like anything else. I wish I could have had a choice. There is no honest answer to the why. I was turned, and I have managed to find some power in it. It allows me to walk and to sense things and be stronger than I ever was. But it's a little angry, and I'm not entirely sure I'm the one who's always in control. And you feel an angry tug at your hair, Dale.
Don't I know it? So does that mean that there's another one of you still out there that turned you?
He looks around. He says, "Another one? There better not be. Look, I'm not a normal werewolf. A regular one will tear you from limb to limb. I have some control over my wild shape. I've managed to even had a witch help me put some extra oomph on it as a binding spell. It gave me some extra power, but I'm weak compared to a real werewolf." Well, why do you say that? The one who turned me is far, far from here, I think. Isn't he?
Well, the sheriff was looking at, or Margie was looking at the evidence and said that based off of the tracks that were left and where things have been happening, that there's got to be two of them. Two strange wolf creatures, anyway.
We see as Superintendent Keller sort of faints. Oh, and as he does, the two of you kind of like lean forward for a second and then realize like, oh no, he's a bad guy. And then the three of you kind of like, he comes to, he says, "We have to get out of here. We have to warn the town. If there's another werewolf afoot, I'm afraid I've stepped into its territory. And that's not good." And the three of you are going to start heading there through which way. Any last minutes before we turn back to Maggie in the clinic?
Well, I think I would just call Maggie as soon as we wrap up the conversation to make sure she's okay and tell her what we've learned.
You go to voicemail, and we turn across the way to see probably in the local clinic, we see Maggie on a bed, sort of the phone vibrating on the table beside her. It wakes her, but not enough for her to answer. And as she sort of comes to slowly and realizes where she is, she sort of pans across and sees the sheriff. We see as he's sitting at the side of your bed, and he starts when you wake up. He says, Maggie, are you okay? That thing really clobbered you good, I think."
Oh yeah, it stung a little, but I've been through worse. You wouldn't believe the kind of clawings I've taken in the past. So this one, it was just a little scratch.
Oh, all right. I really hope that's true. The doctor, Sarah here, has really patched you up. You look good. And we see we haven't actually seen Maggie this whole time yet, but when we turn back over the sheriff's shoulder, we can see that she's bandaged like fully around her head, and just her eyes and her mouth are poking out from around the bandages. Little glasses on top.
Maggie's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about me." And then she's patting her head and she feels all the bandages, and she's like, "Looks like it's just the head though. One time it was like this, head to toe, whole thing, like a mummy."
Oh, don't even talk about mummies at a time like this, Maggie. And we see the sheriff. He hears someone in the hallway. He steps out, and you have the room to yourself. When you look over, you see that there's a phone call from Dale.
Oh yeah, Maggie's gonna pick up the phone, and it's one of those phones with the antennas. So she unfolds the bottom part and unfolds the top part and pulls the antenna out. And then she's like, "Oh, hello, who's calling?"
Dale, Maggie has just called you back. So, in the classic, kind of didn't understand the technology way, she's calling you.
Yeah, Dale is like, Maggie, are you okay?
Oh yeah, I just got a little scratch, but they bandaged me up real good. I'm bandaged all over my head, so I think everything's staying put. Where have you been? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. We just fought a werewolf that was actually the superintendent, but don't worry about that because there's a second werewolf and we have to figure out who it is. ASAP.
Oh, great. Well, I was just at the caves and I got scratched up by a werewolf. I assume was that the superintendent there?
Yeah, he said you shot him with a magnum?
Oh, you betcha I did. And then he scratched me back, so I think we're even there. But now you're saying there's a second werewolf as if it hasn't gotten messy enough as it is, and I still haven't been able to find the child. Oh, this is turning into a real mess. I've got to get moving. Maggie's gonna jump out of her bed. She's like, I have to get involved. Haven's Mill is at risk. There's 2 werewolves. There's a missing child. It's all out of control.
Classic, your bandages stay behind, floating down to the sheets, and you are practically whole, but you are missing 2 health as you skirt from this and run face first into Dale on his phone, the 2 of you in downtown. We see the 3 of you in downtown. We see as these gentlefolk have just made it back from the woods. They have sticks jutting from their clothes and their hair. They look like they've taken a couple of branches to rip the fabric of their clothing as they exited. But they're here and safe in Haven's Mill, and the 3 of you are together again.
Oh, it's nice to see you all doing okay. So what's this I'm hearing about? 2 werewolves, second werewolf?
Is the superintendent with us?
Great question. Are you taking him immediately to the sheriff?
Yeah, it's safe.
Yeah.
In this case, the sheriff's here, so probably you went to the first place you'd thought, and they told you he was at the clinic, and you've probably got him with you. Yeah. He sort of looks up at the lot of you, and he's like, that's a big weapon to carry for an old lady. But I'm sorry that I shot you.
Oh, it's okay. Just checking though. Am I gonna become a werewolf now?
Well, no, actually, the way that lycanthropy is contracted is through the bite. And you can see he's getting ready to go off on a tangent. So we see him in the background explaining the rules of lycanthropy behind the scene where the important people are talking. As the hunters kind of gather their heads together, the drone of his wah-wahs behind you, we pass across our clues. We say what we know, and we know what we've seen. A footprint, a tumbled shoe, a tent dragged down to the docks or to the caves below the lighthouse. A boy missing still, and the thoughts of another werewolf on the run. You're sure if Superintendent Keller is to be an example, then the other werewolf probably won't show its face until night. And Maggie, you know tonight is a full moon. What do the 3 of you want to do to set yourselves up for taking care of this problem?
Oh yeah, Maggie's gonna suggest that we get everything we need. If this is a werewolf on a full moon, it's gonna be strong, and we're gonna have to make sure we have the right tools to take them down.
Yeah, just tell me what is the right tool. I'm gonna see if I can have someone to get it for us.
Ooh,
Uh,
nice.
so yeah, maybe in that case, we're gonna take a quick stop at the library, and pull out any werewolf books that we need.
Wonderful. A stop at the lore library yields a +1 to investigating a mystery. Maggie, go ahead and roll those dice.
Okay. Gonna investigate that mystery. And that's gonna be an additional. That's gonna be a +3 for me then.
Ooh.
I got a 10.
Since I'm unstable, I am visibly wounded.
You are, yeah. Actually, you and Maggie both have some sort of light cartoon wounding, but it's really in the expressions on your face that we see your danger. You look pale. The illustrators for your animated form don't look like they've added any color to your flesh. You
Oh
look
my.
bloodless. And as you kind of take to the library, Maggie, what was your total on your investigative mystery roll?
That's a 10.
A 10 is 2 questions. As you start to do research, Dale and Jules can see the med kit on the wall. Maggie's new infirmary. We just see like a really big med kit. Actually, I'm sorry. Glory, will you please describe how your infirmary manifests in the library?
Oh, yeah. So, over in a corner of the library, Maggie set up a nice, comfy couch. Maybe there's a little lamp there, and a giant med kit. If you open it up, it has like, maybe it's more like a giant toolbox med kit, but it's still got that little, it's red, it's got that little white plus sign on it, and you can
Gotcha.
open it up, and it has a bunch of compartments that open up. So it's got everything you need there.
Wonderful. We see an infirmary allows you to heal people. In this case, I would say plus sharp. Since Maggie is distracted, Dale, would you like to take a crack at it?
Yeah. I think Dale doesn't know anything about this sort of situation, but maybe Chip is more versed. So he lets Chip take control.
Chip takes out the hairs for precise movement and starts to move your hands as you bandage. Go ahead and roll plus. We'll go with sharp here.
Okay. So that is an 8 plus 2 is 10.
8 plus 2 for 10. In this case, under the rules of an act under pressure, plus sharp instead, using the infirmary, you do what you set out to do. Guillaume, Jules is healed by 2 harm. As we see the bandage start to go, we see a whirling dervish of activity as Chip pulls on Dale's hair in a complex array. For a second, you're just a big cloud of limbs and tapes and bandages flying. And then when we come out, we see Jules is whole again. He has bandages across one part of his body, and he looks like he's feeling much better.
Great. Like a big stem. I don't know how it is. Bandage on his wound.
We see as the two of you are bandaging up Jules, a big smile on our mundane's face. Maggie, you have 2 questions. What would you like to know?
Yes. So Maggie's gonna ask, well, let's start with, what was it going to do?
You know now that you've spread the clues, so you know that Superintendent Keller had good intentions, even if they were misdirected. He certainly didn't look like he was trying to do anything to this boy. But if there is another werewolf involved, they get very territorial. And if Keller hasn't been using his form much up to this point, perhaps he has triggered the ire of another werewolf. So you can sense that maybe the werewolf took Timmy to get back at him or to convert him to further establish his territory.
Ooh. And then my second question is, where did it go?
As you're looking through the the different sort of books on lycanthropy, on werewolves in general, lore, legends, pieces in your library. We see your stack grows taller and taller, comically large. And then you're looking at a book and you realize that true werewolves, much like some depictions of vampires, can't be out during the daytime. Their form is like almost an allergy to the bright, direct sun. So you assume that they're inside somewhere, but it's tough to say where. However, on Timothy's side of things, we see as your research kind of brings you to a dead end and you slump, uh, and then your phone goes off and you see a new exhibit at the Historical Society. You feel pretty confident. If you were a kid who was playing hooky from life, you might find your way up there.
Oh, that exhibit at the Historical Society might be the type of thing that I would want to go do if I was a young one again. So Maggie's gonna go find Jules and Dale and tell them her suspicions.
Two of you hear Maggie's theory, and you get the sense that, maybe she's right. A boy might go there, and it might be a good place to hide during the day if you're afraid of the caves by the sea. If he hasn't been taken, he might be at the mill. If he has, you're still looking for answers for where you might find him. Do you want to keep looking, or do you want to try out this lead first?
I'm tempted to split up to cover more ground.
How do you want to split us, Dale?
Let's see. Well, I say that, but I don't actually know if I have any other places to look. Are there any other places that might be suspicious besides the Historical Society?
I would say, as you're thinking about it, you may not know, but you certainly know people who would. If the boy has been lost in the woods or has found himself to a more natural place, Margie's definitely the source for that sort of information. If you want to know more about, the patterns of the boy over the last few days, you can ask Superintendent Keller. He may know what the boy has been doing as he tried to help him stay entertained for the time. So you can kind of figure it out one of two ways. Which way do you want to go?
I'm gonna go to find Margie. I talked to her earlier. Well, I'll see what her latest thoughts are.
We see as Dale takes off, and the two of you, Jewel and Maggie, the superintendent in tow, we see as the sheriff comes out, and maybe the handoff of this villain goes well. Do you tell the sheriff that he's the werewolf?
Good question.
Yeah, he was good intended at first, I think.
Good intentions. As the sheriff comes out, the superintendent kind of clams up. He's been talking the whole time behind you, and then he looks at the two of you like, "Oh, this is it, isn't it?" You can see his face drop. All of his good intentions have come to this moment, and he has to face the music. What are the two of you gonna do?
Maybe it can be a few later if we don't tell the sheriff now.
Yeah, I think Maggie's gonna turn to the superintendent and say, if you want to make up for things, you have to do right by Timothy. Come with us, and let's make sure we get this boy home safely.
Ooh, nice. There's usually a way to upgrade a character from an innocent to an ally. Sheriff Collins as an ally in yellow, and Superintendent Keller as an innocent in blue. Unfortunately, he's kind of a bad guy, so he doesn't have an ally card. So we'll call him an ally for now. He looks at you, grateful that you haven't given up the goat, and as he sort of cycles or pulls his wheelchair along beside you, keeping pace, he says, "Thank you. I would love to find the boy. I didn't mean for this to happen. We're gonna go check the mill." Well, he always has been a fan of the new exhibits they put up, and this one's supposed to be pinned insects. I think the boy's in love.
Okay,
And-
let's get a move on.
The three of you head there. We'll start with you. Heading across towards the Havens Mill, the old historical center, we can see as approaching outside, the three of you wheel up to the front door, and inside you can see a small class of preschoolers. And in the corner, a tall person in a trench coat and a hat with a very fake mustache jutting out from the top of the collar.
Oh yeah, Maggie's gonna eyeball the trench coat, the fake mustache, and sort of mosey on over.
You step over and you can see as you sort of stand beside this tall, lanky character, they seem to almost like lose balance for a second, and then they grab the handle of one of the cases and they say, "Isn't it nice to be an adult? We can go to the museum anytime we want, unlike those babies back there."
Oh, absolutely, but what's a distinguished gentleman like yourself doing out and about here? I'd assume someone as distinguished as yourself would be at a fancy soiree or something. What got you interested in the exhibit here?
It shows what you know about fancy gentlemen. Obviously, pinned bugs are the real gems of Havens Mill. And then he goes to lean forward and point at a butterfly, and he stumbles out of his costume. And we see Timothy on stilts, wobbling as the coat falls. And he looks, his fake mustache on his eyes, he looks around the room and sees Superintendent Keller. And he says, "Oh, Keller, I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to be down by the caves." Oh. Keller looks at the two of you like, "Well, that was easy. Timothy, come here. We thought you'd been taken." And Timothy looks around. He's like, "I was taken. What do you mean? Am I supposed to pretend like you didn't take me?" And he says, "No, they know. What happened? How did you get up here?" And Timothy looks at the three of you and he says, "Well, something spooked me out of my cave last night. So I slept under my tent by the docks, but when I went to go take my stuff back over there, I heard something, and when I shouted for the superintendent, I only got growls in response. I can't sleep there again tonight." And the superintendent looks at the two of you. "Perhaps he should go home tonight."
Oh yeah, good call. Getting away from the growls and knowing how to stay safe. But yeah, I think it's best that you go back home. I'm sure after all this, you're tired of sleeping in caves and on bedrolls, and I'm sure you're missing your bed by now.
Yeah, a good cocoa and a good meal and a bed will be better than outside.
You also know, with confidence, that, Maggie, you didn't get a chance to explore in the cave very deep. You came to the first room, were attacked, and didn't have a chance to go further. As Superintendent Keller sort of takes the boy, we can see as the sheriff, he calls the sheriff over. The sheriff comes up and takes him and says, "Timothy, let's get you home." And the superintendent wheels back over to you. He says, "Well, sounds like my territory mate is in the cave. Should I go with you? It's getting dark."
Can you sniff the other beast?
"Let's go see what we can do." And his eyes turn feral yellow for a second as we turn away from the two of you towards Dale. Dale, not only have you already found Margie, but you've managed to convince Margie to go with you. How did you do it?
How did I convince her to do it? I'm looking at my -1 charm, and I'm deciding that I think I start blabbering some nonsense, and I'm panic talking or whatever. And then while I'm doing that, my arm is moving on its own volition, powered by Chip, and he starts making an illustration on a whiteboard explaining the situation that she just ignores what I'm talking and is like, "Oh, that diagram explains everything perfectly."
We see Maggie grab a big old wood axe, red blade on the edge, the edge fine-tuned to a shiny, gleaming blade. And we see as she steps forward, she says, "Well, this ain't a Red Riding Hood story now. We've got to take care of business. Are you ready, Dale?" And she tosses you the axe.
I guess.
Let's go get us a pelt. And you see Margie now, like, she's gone from, like, full prepper and doomsday enthusiast to, like, I'm gonna take this thing down. She grabs herself, like, a bat from behind her door. It's like, painted and filigreed, and it doesn't look like anyone's ever hit a baseball with it. She says, "For home defense. Am I right? All right, let's get after him." And she squares up like she's at the plate and then walks out of the room. So our
Okay.
hunters...
Yeah, Dale.
Go ahead.
Dale falls behind.
Our
No, he
hunters
just falls behind.
have gathered their help, their allies to the fray. The sun is just beginning to touch the horizon, and already in the sky, hanging in the mid-twilight light, firmament clouds painted with that orange sickle hue tipped with violet shades. We see a moon, full, bright, hanging in the air, hovering above it all. And as the five of you make your way down to the parking lot of the lighthouse, you see the trail, the gravel path that goes out and down below to the sea caves. The sheriff looks at Margie and says, "We're gonna need someone to watch our backs. I nominate myself because I don't like being close to the ocean water. Can't swim. Never learned. And I'm pretty sure there's some sort of horrible beasts down there. Margie?" And Margie looks at the three of you to decide if you want her to come or stay.
Yeah, she can watch her backs. I like that idea.
Margie comes along behind. Who takes the lead as you scramble down?
Oh, Maggie's up in front. She's got all her weapons out. She's got her, what is it? Her blessed holy knife out, which she could be good in a jiffy. But just in case, she's got her juju bag, and of course, there's always the magnum. But she thinks it's gonna be time to use some magic here.
We see as a knife clutched in one hand and a juju bag in the other. Our expert takes the lead. Maggie, as you come round the corner, you do hear a territorial snarl. The sun has set, and already the light that's crashing across the waves on the shore seems to be full of shadow and menace. As you come down around, you hear a snarl, and you bring your knife up, magic already forming in the juju bag on your hand. Maggie, go ahead and roll to read a bad situation for me.
Okay.
It's going to be plus sharp.
Plus sharp. That's going to be my +2. 10.
10 is awesome. That's 3 questions, and important questions they are. Best way in or out, dangers we haven't noticed, biggest threat, most vulnerable to me, or the best way to protect the victims.
Ooh, okay. Let's start with what's the best way in?
Cave, unfortunately, only has one entrance as far as you know. There may be others, but you probably don't have time. This creature may not have fully transformed yet, and coming into it by going around is only going to give it more time to do so. The front entrance, the way you came in past Timothy's little hideaway, is the only way in.
Ooh. Okay, and then are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
The area around this cave mouth seems clear, but you can see that there are feral scratch marks around the outside of this cave marking the territory. There are no other dangers than the one that lurks in the darkness inside the cave, and you're confident that you are safe otherwise.
Okay, and then the last one would be, what's most vulnerable to me?
Well, your magnum certainly gave Superintendent Keller a pretty serious wound, but he seems to have recovered somewhat. You sense that he may have some regenerative ability. If the other werewolf has one as well, your juju bag and your blessed knife are certainly going to be better damage, even though they do less up front. This werewolf is going to be impacted by your silvered blade.
Okay. Maggie's gonna clutch her knife and call to the others and say, "There's one way in, fellas. We gotta jump in and get him."
I grab my tire iron from the bag and hold on to it. I'm sure it's gonna be a tough fight now.
Oh no, go on in there. I'll watch your back in case that thing isn't inside. And you see Margie brings up her bat as she turns around. We see Jules wielding a tire iron, Dale with an axe, and Margie with a pistol, large and deadly in her hand. And as you go to step towards the cave, a shadow emerges. We see as leaping from the inside, we can see another werewolf run. We see Superintendent Keller begins his transformation. He says, "Hold on, it'll just take me a second." And his eyes glow white and feral as he starts to transform, his fur going. And as he does, we hear a growl from the inside as something leaps out. And we see Superintendent Keller gets knocked off of his chair. They tumble back as he starts to transform. Maggie, Jules, Dale, what do you want to do? The two of them are grappling at the foot of the lighthouse right now.
Can I help the superintendent?
How do you want to give him a hand? Help out here? You have a move for this, yes?
Yeah, I'm gonna use the power of the heart, so I don't roll the plus cool, but I'm only a +0, and I get automatically a +10.
Automatically a 10. The power of heart. How do you want to help the sheriff? Or how do you want to help the superintendent?
Maybe hit on the big werewolf fight. We don't know on the nose, so to distract him from the fight.
We clobber him right on it. Oh! He barks and whimpers as you clobber him right on the schnoz. And then the superintendent sort of like wiggles. His legs are starting to move. He pulls himself out of the bent hull of his wheelchair and howls. As the other werewolf goes to claw, he teleports. Poof! In a puff of smoke, he's behind him and he says, "Wildmane, you're not welcome in these parts any longer." And he tears 2 claws down Wildmane's back. Jules, well done. You managed to give Superintendent Keller his chance. But as he does, boom! Wildmane backhands him, and Keller goes flying into the base of the lighthouse. Dale, Maggie, what would you like to do?
Maggie's gonna grab her juju bag and stick her hand in there and then just launch some juju magic at the werewolf.
Ooh, juju magic. In this case, it looks like it kicks some ass to me. Let's go to roll plus tough.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
1 harm far magic. So the tags for this weapon. Do you pinch from the bag and toss, or do you throw the whole thing?
Oh no, I'm gonna pinch from the bag and toss. There's way too much magic in this juju bag. If I threw the whole thing, it'd be like an atomic bomb on this town.
We see Maggie pinch and toss. What's your roll?
And I'm rolling use magic.
You're gonna be rolling plus tough for kick some ass here, I think. You don't have battle magic
tough,
like
yeah.
a spell slinger, so you'll still need the 1 for tough.
Got it. That's a 9.
A 9. We got a chance, Dale, to help out if you can.
Yes, I was just about to say. Dale, with Chip, is actually a master of martial arts, and so when the fight starts, Dale enters like a classic like kung fu stance, and when he sees Maggie getting ready to use her bag, he goes up behind the werewolf and tries to put him in a kind of like a hold, to keep him still so that he's vulnerable to the attack.
A little jujitsu, perhaps.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll to help out.
Juju plus jujitsu.
Jujitsu.
Oh,
we're gonna go ahead and...
you know what? I hyped that up way too much. I finally got my bad roll. That is a 4 total, but yeah.
4? Oh no. Go ahead and mark your experience there. A 4
Oh, yeah, silver lining.
is good. We see as you go to karate your way through, you move fluidly into another stance, and suddenly you've got this ankle and the leg and a leg bar, and then you look up and this wolf is just looking down at you, puzzled at what a small fly is bothering it. He kicks his leg out and you go flying. It is by luck alone that you don't immediately get tossed into the sea. Go ahead and roll to act under pressure to see how you land.
Okay. That is a 10.
10 will land you safe. You take no damage as you roll to your feet, a pose of preparedness, ready to rock as you roll onto the rocky beaches. Maggie, it is still a 9, however. You are going to inflict harm on each other. Your juju bag does 1, but it does count as a weakness to this creature, so it doubles to 2. However, you are going to get absolutely clobbered, and Wildmane is tougher than the werewolf. We see as Wildmane reaches down and grasps both of your shoulders, and for a second there he squeezes tight. You start to fill up the top like you're inflating like a balloon or pulling like a Stretch Armstrong, and then you shoot out from between his hands and go rocketing off to the other side of the beach. You take 3 harm as Wildmane squeezes you proper.
Okay, yeah, Maggie's unstable. She's not doing good after that one. It was a nice stretch. It cracked her back a little, but the rest is not doing good.
Maggie, you do feel like you can walk a little faster, move a little smoother now that chiropractic crack has happened, but as you pick yourself up, your wounds are serious, and you know that this is a very dangerous situation. Jules, you're up. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna be with. Can I try to still help the superintendent in fighting the white man, and we can coordinate something? Maybe I'm jumping in his legs to destabilize him.
Nice. I think in this case we'll roll either an act under pressure or a kick some ass. Which would you prefer?
I'm gonna kick some ass.
Roll plus tough.
It's 12.
12. Nice. On a 12 plus, you and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on each other, and you completely hold the advantage, giving everyone +1. You suffer no harm at all. You inflict double the normal harm, or you drive the enemy away in a rout.
I was gonna do that to help, so I get all hunters involved in the fight +1.
Wonderful. I'll say you also get to do a little bit of damage with your clobber stick. 2 harm for your tire iron, so you do manage to get him good. However, you too are going to take some harm. He lifts his feet up and stomps on Jules. We see Jules' eyes out as he gets squished beneath the foot of this creature. You do take 3 harm here, Jules. However, you've opened up an opportunity for Superintendent Keller. The werewolf teleports forward. He punches across the face of this mentor, this ancestor, the one who converted him and has come to his territory to fight. And we see as he claws him across the chest, your help is helping, and the werewolf is winning for now. But things are dire, and all of our hunters are injured. Jules, well done. I believe we'll turn to Dale here, as Maggie's still picking herself up across the beach. Dale, what do you and Chip do?
I think now is a good time for my third move, which I haven't used yet, separation anxiety. The 2 of us can split up temporarily. So first I have to roll a cool to see how much time I have to do so.
Okay. Oh, cool. On a 10 plus, you mark unstable in 30 minutes, but it's shorter for every roll closer.
Yes. So that is a 10.
Sick move. A 10 means you have a half an hour. What does Chip jump down to do?
Okay, so Dale is gonna run over to try and help Maggie. Maybe see if he still has any of the medical supplies he used earlier to try and help make her stable.
Okay.
Chip, my idea was maybe Chip could pilot Superintendent's werewolf form and combine his werewolf strength with Chip's karate mastery and kick some ass.
Oh yeah, you know that's coming through. You got 2 rolls ahead of you here, Chris. I think an act under pressure to see if you can heal Maggie up a little bit, maybe get her stable, and then an act under pressure for Chip.
I'm going to do the kick some ass with Chip first because I'm excited to see how this goes.
Great call. That's still going to be plus cool, I think, actually, because we're going to go with help out here. Unless you want Chip. No, I think a kick some ass is good. Let's do that. Plus tough.
Okay. So that is a 9.
A 9 is good. Guillaume, do you want to throw in a power of heart here?
Oh, totally. I'm gonna throw my bag onto the werewolf, the white man muzzle, so it blocks his view and he can help them to fight him.
Blocking the werewolf's view, it starts to fight back and forth, unsure of where the next blow will come. You get a +1 to that to bring it up to a 10 as Chip takes control of Superintendent Keller's werewolf form. He goes to punch. The first time he accidentally tugs a hair and will teleport away, and Chip kind of nods like, okay, got it. He pulls another one, and this time the teleport is right in front of, boom, boom, a couple of punches, a couple of slices with the claws. And we see as Superintendent Keller grabs the neck of this beast with his jaws and lifts him into the air. He throws him to the ground. And in the background, we see Dale running towards Maggie. Dale, roll to act under pressure to see if you can heal her up.
Okay. That is a 9 again.
Mixed success. On an act under pressure, you get to have a worse outcome, a price to pay, or a hard choice. I'll say this. Your price to pay is you immediately go unstable as your separation from Chip feels like a missing piece of yourself, but you'll successfully bandage Maggie. Or you can only heal her 1, a worse outcome than the intended 2.
I'll take the price. I'll go unstable.
We see Dale's vision begin to shake. He sweats. He feels like, I can't do anything. I don't know how to do anything without my hair being pulled. Where's Chip? And he looks around and sees his companion successfully helping kick some ass over in the background. For just a moment, you shake yourself free, but you are unstable for now and things will get worse. Maggie, you're healed too. As Dale looks down at you, Maggie, this is a good moment for a final move here. You stand, are expert, healed and ready to go. What do you want to do?
Oh, absolutely. Maggie's gonna grab her blessed knife, and she's going in for a precise strike.
A precise strike. This monster is tangling with the Superintendent, Jules, and Chip. What does your precise strike do?
Precise strike means I can aim for the weak spot. I've read about these monsters. I know, and now that I've seen him in action, I've been watching him as I've been trying to recover, I know where to hit.
I think even more so, precise strike usually rolls plus tough. I think this is absolutely a sharp thanks to your keen research along the way.
Do it. That's a 10.
Yeah. We see as you drive your dagger into the back. With a precise strike, there is no recourse here. We don't see him attack you back. But we do see you inflict an additional 2 harm. And as you drive your dagger into this being's weak spot, it writhes. It howls out its teeth, slaver, drool slips across the way. And we see in slow motion, as the beast falls to the sand, it looks up. It stares at Superintendent Keller and says, "This isn't over, Keller. I'll be back! And the werewolf goes barreling off, a wound in its back, the dagger buried in its traps. We see as it scrambles off and towards the way, our hunters all take a big deep sigh of relief, and then in the distance, a howl curdles their blood. But Superintendent Keller howls right back. And we pause to take a final breath here. As this foe is taken care of, as this adventure comes to its end, our hunters have a final moment. What do we see? What do we say? What do we do?
Oh, everyone's okay. Who was him? Who was it? Who was the big beast?
Superintendent Keller is like shrinking back down. He grabs like the bent chair and kind of sets it in the sand, and then takes like an exhausted seat in it. He's covered in scratches and bites, and he says, "Oh, that was Wildmane. You were right. The one who converted me long ago. He must have found my trail. I suppose I'd been a little bit bold with my abilities in the last few weeks. I'm sorry, everyone. I didn't mean to bring this chaos to Haven's Mill."
You didn't bring it. It's always been here. Listen, we're gonna need you. He said he's gonna come back, so enough of these kidnapping shenanigans. I get it. Budget cuts are tight. But next time, just try a marketing campaign or something.
He nods solemnly at your wise words. Dale, Jules, any last moments on the beach before we turn to the credit scenes in the town in the days following?
I think Dale just kind of nonchalantly grabs the gopher that's just sitting on top of the superintendent's head and plucks it back into his own head, hoping no one noticed.
Let's say for the gag that it was perfectly obscured from everyone except for the viewers. Everyone at home knows exactly what just happened, but somehow nobody on the beach with you has a sense. And Dale leans down, and Chip leans down and whispers in your ear, Dale. He says, "Well, that was fun, but I'm really more of a grocery store gopher."
I'm glad to hear it, bud.
We see Jules. Last bit here, sir. Is there any final moments for our tourist from a distant land?
I just take last pictures of everyone like a good souvenir, and I just let the final speech to the gopher. That was perfect.
We see a couple of pictures, and later, as we kind of pan into the town post-adventure on a different day, someday later in the week, we see Jules looking at the reactions for the photos he posted. There's, a full comment section of people. "Is that a real werewolf? I can't believe it. That's crazy." And there's mail in your email from paranormal investigators all over the country asking you to authenticate your footage. We can see Jules at the cafe, or at Maggie's diner, eating another stack of American breakfast the next day, looking at the reactions to his post. Maggie, we see you back in the library, properly bandaged this time, not overly bandaged, but your wounds are taken care of, and we see you start to put a book back that you think twice about. What's in your hand?
The book is an encyclopedia of werewolves, and for a second Maggie was gonna put it back, but then she thinks, I better keep this under the counter. It might come in handy more than I thought.
We see her tuck a book back and keep it for later, just in case. How about for our grocery store clerk? On the next day, do we see you back at work?
Of course, I'm Employee of the Month. I take it very seriously.
We see Dale and Chip beneath his hat, that classic Ratatouille look where we can see the transparency as the little guy pulls the strings, and you work with great aplomb. The grocery store clerks all around you just like, Man, that guy is good. And we see you just all through the store, stacking shelves, stocking pack pallets, and just keeping track of customers all the way through. Our hunters, back in the days of normal, we see as the camera pans up and out of the grocery store and across the woods, over the hills of Haven's Mill and off into the distant, thick woods of Maine, and we hear a distant howl somewhere off, where adventure and nature begin. And that's where we're going to end for the day. Great job, my friends. Excellently done. Our first streamed game. Thank you so much. How did you feel? How did it go?
Oh, it was fantastic. Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah, very smooth, very fun.
You guys did wonderful. Your characters are fantastic. I'd love to take a bit of time to unwind with you, but we have 4 questions that we have to ask at the end of every mystery. A Monster of the Week classic here. So, our first question is, did we conclude the current mystery?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did we save someone from certain death or worse?
Yes.
I'd say Timothy certainly got saved from some sort of bad shenanigans, and the superintendent himself maybe, saved? Shot? It's unclear, but we'll count it for now. These ones are going to be more about you, and these are Saturday morning cartoon questions in particular. Did you use your gear, ability, or knowledge in a crucial way?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
For this question, I'd love to just hear what your favorite move was. What was the favorite thing you got to do with your character today?
That, for me, I really wanted to dig into the ground like a gopher, and I really wanted to pilot a werewolf like a kaiju, like a specific room mecha. So I got my wish list checked off.
Yeah, your hand pyramid dive into the ground. Oh, chef's kiss. If there was inspiration, I'd give it to you. Guillaume, what'd you think? What was Jules' best move?
I like the new move from the flake. It was fun building around the supernatural community, but in the end, I think I really love the power of the heart and how it helps and how I can just help others do cool things.
A free +1 in combat is, I mean, it's so helpful. Wonderful. Glory, how about for Maggie?
I always love the precise strike. It is just the perfect finisher move. It feels like I don't know, a pile driver in like a wrestling match where Maggie just comes out and finishes them off. It's always the best.
Yeah, it's a good one, and I think it's just such a nice episode ender, and to have the dagger drive true, wonderful. In that case, that's 3 yeses already, but let's take a moment to ask our 4th question. How did you contribute to the theme or frame in a unique way? What was your favorite cartoon moment? And I think this is a great opportunity to give some stars to someone else. Who was another hunter's favorite moment of cartoon shenanigans?
I'm gonna give it to Guillaume with taking Instagram photos at every moment. That was incredible. I can just imagine like the cartoon like flashes and him like moving around really fast to take different angles. So I'm gonna give it to him for that one.
Nice. Guillaume, you're on the clock. What was your favorite cartoon moment?
It's really hard because I've got 2 wonderful players here. I really love the portrayal of the gopher and the control, but I think my star is gonna be the all-knowing lady Carl, and it was very charming, and I've got some I don't know the name in English of the old series with the detective, the old lady detective, and it was really bad in my head, so it was really top notch.
That's good stuff. It is tough. A tough choice. We have 2 good cartoony characters. But I'll hand it off to Chris. Chris, what was your favorite moment from another hunter?
This is tough because both are so fun. The mundane is so fun, and I love Maggie's voice, honestly. I think my favorite moment was I think the bandages was just a really funny bit, and I loved the introduction of the clinic partway through. It helped. I don't know. It added to the vibe of the world.
Definitely. We saw a new Haven tool come into play that could very well keep you guys alive. I think today it certainly proved its worth. A dangerous foe indeed. Our last sticker was found, so you can go ahead and mark 2 experience for the questions and 1 experience for the last sticker, which was the mill. You found Tommy where he was hiding, and you finished your landmarks pack. So 3 experience to our hunters. Does anybody level up?
Yes, I do. Wow. Turned it around.
Last bump. Wonderful. Now, to the viewers, I'm going to spend some time with my players unwinding, but I want to say that's another mystery solved here in Haven's Mill, folks. Our heroes saved the day again, and if it weren't for those meddling kids, who knows what would have happened to Timothy. Proving again that friendship, courage, and a little bit of cartoon logic, even the scariest monsters can be defeated. So, the best part about this, you can be part of it too. That's right, mystery solvers. We're always looking for new heroes to join the team. So, check out the links in the bio below to sign up for your own Saturday morning adventures. And if you're in the mood for something a little grittier, join us tomorrow for Dust and Shadows. The sun beats down on the frontier, the mysteries run deeper, and the stakes are life and death under the great desert sky. Same Monster of the Week action, but with spurs instead of sneakers. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep helping your neighbors, and remember, in a world full of monsters, sometimes the real magic is just being brave enough to care. Thanks, everyone.